Crowds lately for the Minnesota Twins. They're up over 160,000 in attendance in today's starting lineup for the Indians. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And here's the lineup. Leading off, Grady Sizemore in center field. Jamie Carroll will be in right. Asdrubal Cabrera will be the shortstop hitting third. Shin-Soo Choo batting cleanup at left. Johnny Peralta will be at third base. Travis Hafner will be the designated hitter today. Luis Valbuena will be at second. Rookie Wyatt Villegas will be behind the plate. And another rookie, Chris Jimenez, will be at first base batting ninth. And how about a rookie, Anthony Swarzak? 6'4", 23-year-old from Fort Lauderdale with a 3-5 record, making his 11th start of the year for the Twins, an ERA of 5.44.
On the scouting report on Anthony Swarzak, you see the sprint scouting report. He's replacing Kevin Slowey in the rotation. They are needing quality starts, and that's something that Swarzak has had a trouble doing over the last couple starts. His last two starts, a total of 4 innings, 11 earned runs allowed. So if he wants to keep that start in the rotation, this is a huge start this afternoon for Anthony Swarzak, just 23 years old.
Making his second start against the Indians, 0-1 in his one appearance. And now it's time for the Budweiser opening pitch. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. So we're set to go here at the Metrodome, where last night the Twins blasted the Indians 11-0. Grady Sizemore hitting .239 with 15 homers, 57 runs batted in.
Yeah, not the typical numbers you would see from Grady Sizemore.
Takes a call strike from Swarzak.
Sizemore's been bothered with that left elbow that will require surgery at the end of the year. This guy's a very good leadoff hitter.
And
his sixth season with the Indians.
And the worst first half of his career, but he's picked it up in this month, missing 20 games on the year, but a solid pro in Grady Sizemore.
Swarzak, a young pitcher that relies on a good sinking fastball. He tries to come straight over the top. He'll mix in a curveball, a slider, and a changeup. 1
ball and 2 strikes the count. Swarzak has had 5 decent starts and 5 rocky starts. In fact, his last outing 8 days ago was a loss to the Tigers, where he gave up 7 runs on 8 hits in only 1 inning. So he's looking to turn it around today against the Cleveland Indians. Here is the 1-2 pitch, and misses inside with the fastball. And the count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, there's the numbers you were talking about, Dick, right there. 5 quality starts where his record is 3-1. Look at the ERA, 1.65. But when it's a not quality start, an ERA of 13.5.
Fly ball hit to center field, and Carlos Gomez, moving over to his right, makes the catch for the first out of the game. Let's take a look at the Twins in the field. Delman Young, Carlos Gomez, and Denard Span in the outfield. Joe Crede in third, Orlando Cabrera and Alexi Casilla at second, and Michael Cuddyer is at first. Joe Mauer behind the plate, and Ron Gardenhire's team outstanding in the field, coming in second in the American League. Only the Toronto Blue Jays have made fewer errors.
Yeah, I talked about the numbers of Swarzak. The big thing is he's young. We're going to see a left-hander for the Cleveland Indians, David Hupp. Same thing. It's a matter of how do you find that consistency, and that's what both these starters are going to try to find here today. The consistency of the strike zone, attacking the strike zone, getting ahead in the count, and utilizing your defense behind you.
Jamie Carroll takes the pitch outside. 92 miles an hour on the fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Carroll, who is the oldest Indian at 35 years old. Began the year on the disabled list and has been swinging a good bat the last couple of weeks. Lines this to center field. Gomez was playing relatively shallow at center field. Makes the catch. 2 up, 2 out for the Indians in the first. And that will bring up Asdrubal Cabrera, the shortstop.
Now, the defense for the Twins, you mentioned, Dick, right there. Very good defense. They have a good scouting report. Jerry White, the first base coach, outfield coach, really moves these outfielders around. He does a good job.
Well, here is Asdrubal Cabrera, who's having a terrific year, despite the fact that he missed nearly 3 weeks with a dislocated left shoulder. Hitting .310 with 46 runs batted in. Fouls off the fastball. 0-1 to Cabrera.
He actually dislocated a shoulder here at the Metrodome back in early June, trying to break up a double play, rolled on that shoulder. That put him on a disabled list. Activated on June 28th. Good hitter from both sides of the plate. All 5 home runs he has coming from the left side of the plate.
Tries to bunt his way on, and third baseman Joe Creedy playing back a bit. And the count now is no balls and 2 strikes to Cabrera. The Indians coming in 49-66. They are in 4th place, 12 games out, and they have unloaded some top-notch players.
Yeah, they really have. I don't like that play right there with 2 outs. You want to try to get an extra base hit right here. Get into scoring position.
Especially with your cleanup hitter up next.
Right. I mean, you do want to get on, in case Chu, who's on deck, but right there, you want to try to get to second base, not the first, especially with 2 outs.
So it's been a rough year for Eric Wedge. Team was expected to be a contender when the year started, but a fastball outside the zone. Cabrera strikes out a 1-2-3 inning for Swarzak.
That's what he gets for trying to bunt.
It'll teach him. That'll teach him. Metrodome, and when you win 11-0 and you're riding high with a great pitching effort and a great hitting game, you can have the hijinks, and that's what Ron Gardenhire and the Twins have. As we're set to go, as Denard Span steps in for the Twins. Does this ever end, Bert? That's the big question.
Well, Gomez is the one that, he's kind of the character on the ball club. He has handshakes and buys for everybody.
Here's Denard Span leading off for Minnesota, and the pitch is outside, ball 1. And there's Span hitting .298, 6 homers, 43 runs batted in. Reached base the first 3 times to the plate, scored 2 runs last night. Good leadoff man, fouls it back.
He's a guy that will take sometimes 4 or 5 pitches in that first at bat just to show everybody on the bench what David Huff has here this afternoon.
And we're going to take a longer look at the rookie David Huff, who comes in with a 6-6 record for the Indians, making his 17th start of the season. 1-1 pitch and fouled out of play. So David Huff, 6-6 on the year with a 6.72 earned run average, has allowed 15 homers in his 16 starts, and the opposition batting a healthy .315 against him.
Well, as long as they're solo home runs, they won't beat you. But he is 0-2 this year against the Twins with an ERA at 10.24. So he wants to improve on that.
Another foul out of play. So as you take a look now at the sprint profile for the left-hander from Huntington Beach, California.
Well, the left-handers have had very good success against Huff. They're hitting .376 off of him. And the third time, as I mentioned, the first two starts not successful for Huff. 9 2/3 combined innings. He's allowed 20 hits to the Twins.
1-2 pitch, missing outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Denard Span. Will be followed by Orlando Cabrera and Joe Mauer here in the bottom of the first inning. Twins now 56 and 59. And there is Orlando Cabrera. And what an addition he has been to the Minnesota Twins. Another foul ball out of play, and Twins are 5 games out, still plenty of time, although 30 of their last 47 games will be against division foes. Some spoilers, Kansas City and Cleveland, and some legitimate teams you got to beat like Chicago and Detroit. But wild card wise, you can't even think about it when you're under 500.
No, the biggest thing for the Twins is that they've had 2 4-game winning streaks. They need to put a winning streak together to try to catch up to Detroit and Chicago.
2-2 pitch is hit in the air, drifting down the left field line, and it's playable, and the catch is made by Cabrera. So a good play made, and there is one away. And right now, today's starting lineup for the Twins, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Span has been retired. Cabrera, followed by Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau. Michael Kadire batting in the 5th spot. Joe Creedy, coming back from injury, has done well at 6th. Delman Young, you'll see a lot of him for the Twins, hitting 7th. Carlos Gomez batting 8th, and Alexi Casilla, the second baseman, batting 9th. As Orlando Cabrera steps in, acquired from the A's at the end of July. And what has he meant to this Minnesota club?
Well, I mean, last night he took an offer. That's the first time he took an offer as a Minnesota Twin. He had a 22-game hitting streak coming into last night's ball game. Very solid player, a guy that wants to and expects to play every day.
And playing it out of bounds is Sizemore, as Cabrera starting a new hitting streak. You mentioned that his 22-game hitting streak ended. It started actually against these Minnesota Twins.
Well, a little bit right off the end of the bat. And remember, Gomez with Carroll up, he was playing shallow. Well, Grady Sizemore is playing almost too deep, I feel, for Carroll for Cabrera. He's not a home run hitter. And Gomez probably would have caught that ball. Instead, you see how far Sizemore had to come, and the ball dropping in front of him.
So that it's setting the stage here for Joe Mauer, who raised his American League leading average by 5 points last night. 375 now. 3 for 3 last night with 2 runs batted in, 2 walks, and has an 11-game hitting streak. And you know, very quietly, you talk about MVP candidates. You know, Joe Mauer is really one of the greats of the game, and steady and classy.
You know what, if you're a coach or a young kid at home and you want to learn how to hit, watch this guy take pitches. Unbelievable eye at the plate. He's a hitter that's not afraid to go and hit with 2 strikes on him. Great numbers. Look at the numbers right there. 21 home runs, 72 RBI, and he missed the whole month of April. He was not activated until May 1st.
Checking the runner, Cabrera, who has 11 stolen bases, and the ball fouled down the left field line. So Cabrera was on the move, as Ron Gardenhire wants to get something going here and get runners in motion with his good hitters coming up.
Yeah, that was a straight steal right there, because if it was a hit and run, a lot of runners will look in. But right there, Cabrera just went right towards second base. He thought he had a pretty good jump off of Huff. Of course, a left-hander has a better opportunity to pick somebody off because he's looking at him in that stretch position.
And a foul ball, and that gets past the first base coach, Jerry White. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Joe Mauer. And David Huff, who will turn 25 later this month. 3rd start against the Twins. He lost early in August and was a loser back on June the 2nd, but it broke a 2-game losing streak in his last outing against the White Sox last Sunday. 1-2 pitch, runner doesn't go, and a sharply hit base hit to center field. Rounding second as Cabrera will go to 3rd, as Sizemore gets the ball back to the infield, and the Twins, picking up where they left off last night, have runners at 1st and 3rd with only 1 out.
Well, unbelievable for Joe Mauer. Let's take a pitch by pitch for Joe Mauer. Huff trying to go inside, and that's what you try to do. Took something off, and then the breaking ball. And I think that's why left-handers have had success against Huff, because that breaking ball, it kind of rolls. It's not something where a left-hander's going to kind of back away. Saw Joe Mauer hang in there on the breaking ball, got a pitch to his liking, lined it right back up the middle.
And here is double trouble. Justin Morneau coming up and taking ball one outside. Morneau leading the American League with 93 runs batted in, and third with 28 home runs, hitting an even 300. So Cabrera is at third. Mauer, who extends his hitting streak to 12 games, and a call strike evens the count 1-1. Morneau is 3 for 6 against David Huff in the brief time he has faced him.
Yeah, Justin uses the whole field. Now he has the power, but when he's swinging a bat good, he'll take that pitch to left field too. The shade for the outfield, shading him a little bit toward right field, but not much. Chu out in left field playing pretty about even up. Justin, a guy that when he gets hot, he can carry a ball club.
2-1 pitch, goes after the high fastball and fouls it back. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Twins come in 5 games behind Detroit as you look at Morneau's season ranks. And there you see second in intentional walks, third in home runs, and an outstanding year for him. And the Twins are 2.5 behind the second place Chicago White Sox. Both the Tigers and the White Sox victorious last night. 2-2, missing away, and the count is full.
See, there's that breaking ball again. It doesn't have to bite to it. It just kind of spins in there. And again, left-handers look at it. They can see it good. And that's why the .376 batting average against Huff. Huff, only 24 years old. Indians' #1 pick out of UCLA back in 2006.
Ball 4, and Morneau's aboard, loading the bases. So Huff in a jam. And Eric Wedge has seen a lot of that. Going with a lot of the younger pitchers now that some of the veterans have been dealt off, such as Cliff Lee. So Cabrera will be at third. Mauer moves to second. Morneau is on at first. And here's Michael Cuddyer. What a threat he is.
Well, Michael Cuddyer having a very good year. 19 home runs on the year. See the 58 RBI.
And healthy for a change this year, and it's paid off for him. Bases loaded, 1 out. Big chance for the Twins. The first pitch is a strike. Cuddyer had an injury-plagued season last year. Played in only 71 games.
Yeah, about the only thing that came out of Michael Cuddyer on a disabled list, it gave Denard Span an opportunity to play. And then Denard Span now the leadoff hitter for the Twins.
There is Span. Somehow, some way, the Minnesota Twins always seem to come up with outstanding prospects. That's been their history for at least 3 decades. As Cuddyer fouls off the pitch and the count 0-2 to the Twins' first baseman.
Well, they're going into a new stadium next year. You know, this is the last year at the Metrodome, Dick, and 23 games remaining here at the Metrodome. They're not a team that goes out and get free agents. So they have to build within, and they've done a great job over the decades.
Cuddyer pops it up, and there's a play for Johnny Peralta, and he almost overruns it, but he makes the catch for the second out. So David Huff gets a tough batter in Michael Cuddyer, out number 2, and that will bring Joe Crede to the plate.
Well, you can see on day games like this, that ball with that Teflon baggie overhead, it's tough to keep your eye on that ball. And you can see Peralta right there. He made a great catch off of Denard Span going toward the Twins bullpen, and right there kind of fighting that Teflon baggie.
So here's Crede with 15 homers, 44 runs batted in. Ball 1 outside. Missed 4 games earlier in the week with a sore shoulder, and last year had a back injury, cost him to miss 60 games. And the former Chicago White Sox third baseman, though, came back with a 3-for-3 game and a walk and a 3-run homer. So Crede anxious to be back in there. Bases loaded, 2 out, and there's a shot hit to shortstop, and Cabrera will get the force at second, barely, and that'll retire the side. The Twins get a couple of hits, leave the bases loaded. One down, and it's no score. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Gillette Body Wash is sponsored by Sprint. Get more done with Nextel Direct Connect, only from the Now Network. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by Ford, we speak car, we speak the all-new Ford Taurus. Right now, here are today's Ford keys to the game.
There they are at the Indians. Basically, they have to get to know each other. A lot of new faces, a lot of new positions. Peralta, shortstop at third. Asdrubal Cabrera, second baseman, now at short. So many things, and we'll go throughout the ball game on that. And for the Twins, you know, they need good quality pitching. That's the big thing, and they need to do the little things to create runs. Yes, they've hit more home runs than last year, but they need to do the little things that have won some pennants here and gotten them into the postseason.
Jin-Soo Choo, the left fielder. You look at the likes of Cliff Lee, Victor Martinez, Ryan Garco, Mark DeRosa, Ben Francisco, Carl Pavano, who is now with the Twins, and we'll be talking with him. And a fly ball hit out deep to left field. Going back is Delman Young, leaps, and it's gone, a home run. Jin-Soo Choo giving the Indians a 1-0 lead with his 14th home run of the year into the front row and left center field. And Cleveland draws first blood.
But with all the trades that have been made with Ben Francisco and Franklin Gutierrez, it opened up the door for Choo to get some opportunity. Right there, Delman Young going to the base of the fence and unable to catch that ball. So he hits his 14th home run of the year, and the Indians take an early 1-0 lead.
And for Swarzak, again, that's the 7th home run given up. And the first pitch, ball 1 to Johnny Peralta, who has 60 runs batted in. So Jin-Soo Choo, who has been a consistent 300 hitter this year, now just short of that. And the count 2-0 here to Peralta.
Just getting a chance to play and making the most out of it. It's called opportunity, and Swarzak's getting the opportunity here. Choo's getting the opportunity with a lot of his teammates to show Eric Wedge what they can do for next year. Not only this year, but also next year.
And a fly ball down the right field line. Denard Span chasing it, and it's fouled. And there he is bouncing off the wall. He made a great catch recently in that kind of a similar mode going against the fence. An outstanding outfielder for the Twins. Meanwhile, the count 2-1.
Very athletic, a guy that can play all three outfield positions for the Twins. And again, when Michael Kadire got hurt last year, he played right field. He made fantastic catches. But when Gomez sits, he'll play center. When Young sits, sometimes he'll play left.
So the Indians, you mentioned taking a look at some of the young prospects. Many of them are up. More will come up after September. And a fair ball down the left field line into the corner, and Delman Young will chase it, and Johnny Peralta will move in with a stand-up double. So a leadoff home run by Chu, and Peralta's double. Nobody out and a runner at second.
Oh, the breaking ball kind of staying right about thigh high, and Peralta a little out front, and it hits the third base bag and scoots into that left field corner. Young gets it back in, but for Peralta, his 25th double of the year.
One of 2 hits last night for the Indians. And so the Indians jumping in front, and here's Travis Hafner, the designated hitter. Hafner with 11 homers and 30 runs batted in.
Yeah, you usually don't say that in the month of August when Travis Hafner comes up. Only 30 RBI.
35 games missed with the sore shoulder. All right. Pitch, strike one.
Well, his goal right here, and I mentioned the Twins have to do the little things. Hafner has to try to find a way to get Peralta from second to third. And the defense for the Twins, they're shading him, especially the infield, to pull.
Luis Balbuena, second baseman, is on deck. Anthony Swarzak checking the runner, and the pitch is fouled at the plate. By the way, Hafner has hit 12 home runs here at the Metrodome. That's the most home runs he's hit in a visiting park.
He hit for the cycle here against the Twins back in 2003. That triple was fun to watch too.
We're seeing a lot of players hitting for the cycle this year. Felix P.A. of the Orioles last night. 0-2 the count to Hafner. He gets jammed and pops this one up, and it's the shortstop Cabrera, and loses the ball, and it drops. And once again, as you pointed out, Bert, you've seen enough games here. When you play in the afternoon, it's a different story with the roof.
That's a helpless feeling if you're an infielder or an outfielder and you have to do this. Look at Orlando Cabrera right there. Creedy giving way, and Cabrera has no idea where that ball is. Kind of palms up. Uh-oh, where is it?
And this is the home team, the Twins, having problems.
And for 28 years, you know, thank goodness in some of the postseason, especially the World Series that have been played here, that a game has not been decided because of a play like that.
Here's Balbuena now, still nobody out, runners at first and second. 1 run in on Chin-Soo Choo's leadoff home run, 1-0 Indians, and the bunt attempt is fouled off by Balbuena. Balbuena, outstanding rookie, has hit .302 since the beginning of July. Started the year with the Indians AAA farm club at Columbus, and is amongst the leaders in just about every batting category with rookies in the league.
Yeah, he came over from the Seattle Mariner organization in that Franklin Gutierrez trade. They feel that he might be the future second baseman.
And again tries to bunt, tough pitch to bunt, right up and in.
Yeah, you want to pitch the ball up if you're in a bunting situation like Swarzak did right there, but these are situations that Eric Wedge wants to see. Can these guys handle these situations? Kind of jabbed at it right there. See if he's asked to bunt here with 2 strikes. Kind of a lost art, that sacrifice. Just bunt the ball, deaden the ball by just letting that ball come to you rather than you going out to get it
and get it down. No balls, 2 strikes. And he's squared to bunt. Takes the fastball up and away. 1-2 to Balbuena.
Well, this is how you're going to make these kids better. You know what? 2 strikes, let him try to bunt again until he gets it right. He's either going to strike out or he's going to do what he's asked to do right here, and that's advance the runners. He wants to bunt it toward Joe Creedy at third. Make that third baseman come in.
Strikes out on a high fastball. So Hafner, who reached base but actually did not do his job in moving the runners He got a fortunately reach base on the ball dropping in, and Valbuena goes after a bad pitch here.
Yeah, Swarzak going up in that strike zone with a fastball, and Valbuena not a good at bat.
Well, now we'll see what the rookie catcher Wyatt Torregas does here, making his 5th start of the year. And Torregas in the game, and he has caught David Huff in the minor leagues. More of a receiver than a hitter, so to speak. Takes a breaking ball, 1-0.
Well, when the Indians traded Victor Martinez to the Boston Red Sox, they needed another catcher. So getting an opportunity to get some major league at-bats.
So Torregas, a rookie, and Chris Jimenez, another rookie, on deck for the Indians with 1 out, runners at first and second. Breaking pitch in for the strike, 1-1. Indians got off to the bad start, as you know, Bert. They were 0-5, and it's the first time in 24 years they lost their first 5 games of the year, and so much was expected of them. Thought they would get back into contention. Remember, 2 years ago they lost to the Red Sox in 7 games in the ALCS, and it just didn't happen for them.
It got so bad in Cleveland that a lot of people were saying, you know, let Eric Wedge go. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. They lost CC Sabathia last year, and I think the guy that they really miss is Casey Blake. I think just trading him to the Dodgers, I think they really miss that. Eric Wedge 2 years ago was the American League Manager of the Year.
Runners go, and there's the throw to third. Easy out at third, as Johnny Peralta is erased, and Mauer to Joe Crede for the second out of the inning as Hafner advances to second.
Either a sign was missed right here, but when you try to steal third, you better be 99% sure that you can get there. Joe Mauer has a great arm. The tag applied by Joe Crede, and the Indians trying to run themselves out of this inning.
And here's Torregas with the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball off the end of the bat.
I say a sign must have been missed right there, because Peralta has only attempted 1 stolen base all year, and he was unsuccessful at that. Now he's 0 for 2.
And he looks like someone who missed the sign.
Well, either maybe a hit and run was put on, something. Somebody missed a sign there. Maybe Torregas was asked to hit and run.
Swarzak looking at the runner from second. Good fastball in on the fist, fouled away, and it remains 2-2 to Torregas. The Indians actually, despite the house cleaning, had shown some results. They had a pretty good record as of late. They're now 6-6 in the month of August. This after not having a winning month all year.
Torregas, 26 years old. This is his 6th year of pro ball, finally getting to the big leagues. Taking a high fastball right there. The Indians signed him back in 2004 out of Virginia Tech. We're talking about the trades and all the different faces that are no longer in an Indians uniform.
There you see the key trades the last 2 years. You mentioned Casey Blake and how valuable he's been to Joe Torre and the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, look at Sabathia and Cliff Lee, 2 former Cy Young Award winners.
3-2 pitch hit out to center field. Gomez is there to make the catch. So the Twins escape further damage, but Shin-Soo Choo with his leadoff home run giving the Indians a 1-0 lead. Could have been worse as we go to the bottom of the second. is sponsored by Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. Bottom third of the Twins batting order facing David Huff here in the second inning. Delman Young, Carlos Gomez, and Alexi Casilla. And the first pitch, ball one to Delman Young. And Ron Gardenhire liking what he sees in Delman Young, who had a 6-game hitting streak snapped last night. And a rarity, Bert. He made all 3 outs in the 6-run fourth inning. He struck out and then bounced into a double play.
Well, I mean, that, you don't like to do that as a player, but that just means that everybody else around you got base hits. What the heck?
They'll take it all the time.
They scored 6 runs that inning. But Delman, his time has been kind of dwindled here a little bit in Minnesota because they have 4 outfielders. Michael Kadire, who's at first, outstanding right fielder. He's letting Justin Morneau take the day off, and then we talked about Span and Gomez, and also Jason Kubel can play some outfield. So Denard Span not getting the playing time that I know he would like.
Well, you mentioned Jason Kubel, who drove in 5 runs, including a home run last night, and has totally crushed Indian pitching, and yet not in the lineup today. Which you'd say, well, how could that be? But that's where a manager knows per day who he has to play. That's why Morneau is playing where he is as a designated hitter.
Well, it's a plus to have a lot of different outfielders, and Jason's usually the designated hitter. But now that he's giving Justin Morneau a day off defensively, allowing him to be the DH here this afternoon.
Ball 4 as Young walks. That's the second pass issued by David Huff, a leadoff walk in the second. Well, you can now find Fox Sports on both MySpace and Facebook. Get breaking news, video clips, widgets, and more. Just go to myspace.com/Fox Sports or facebook.com/Fox Sports and join the community. And don't forget, you could also stay connected to Fox Baseball on Twitter. Follow us at twitter.com/MLB on Fox.
As a former pitcher, Dick, I hated walking that leadoff hitter, especially when my team put 1 run on the board. You go out there and you walk that leadoff hitter, and I remember when Gene Mauch was my manager in the mid-'70s, he despised pitchers that walked, especially that leadoff hitter, and almost picked off right there. A good move by Huff. But he came up with a stat, and it sunk in my head. He said that 70% of all leadoff walks score. And I found that very interesting. And over the years, I've kind of watched that. Now, he was about right. We'll see if Delman Young scores this inning.
Bluffing the bunt is Gomez. And after 2 throws over to first base, the count is 1-0. And of course, Gene Mauch, you mentioned, really one of the truly great managers and brains of the game of baseball.
Yeah, he really was. He was a manager here for the Twins in 1976 and 77, and did a good job.
Throw to the plate, and 1 ball, 1 strike to Gomez, who has been on the bench lately. It's been about a week since he has had a chance to start in center field. Outstanding outfielder.
Brings a lot of energy with him to the ballpark, and that's what Gardy likes.
Fly ball to center field. Sizemore, plenty of room, makes the catch, and Young goes back to first. So there's 1 gone here in the Twins' second inning, and that will bring up the number 9 hitter, Alexi Casilla, switch hitter.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 days ago, Gomez hit a foul ball off his shin, and that's why he was rested a couple days. Alexi Casilla getting some more playing time here. The average down for Casilla last year, a big impact in the offense when he hit .281.
Casilla had 2 hits last night from the number 9 spot in the 11-0 victory, and paying a lot of attention over to Delman Young at first is David Huff.
Yeah, Delman 2 stolen bases in 5 attempts. Trying to read Huff.
Quick throw and diving back safely. The Twins have a 6-4 season series edge on the Indians, although they lost 2 out of 3 to the Cleveland Club about a week ago. And the Twins know they have to do what they can against the weaker teams in the division. Late start by Chu, but he comes in and plays it on a hop. He was playing a deep left field, so a base hit by Casilla Young will stop at second, and the Twins have something going. Runners at first and second, 1 out.
What I've seen in this ballgame so far is the outfield for the Cleveland Indians playing very deep on guys that aren't known for their power. Cabrera got a base hit in front of Sizemore in the first inning, and right here, Chu playing very deeply and lets that ball fall in front of him.
Do you think the roof is affecting all of the fielders now after what we've seen?
It might be. I mean, again, during day games with this Teflon baggie, you can see the lightness of that roof. That ball that is already a little bit on the gray side, and over the years this has become gray, it blends in very nicely.
Here's Denard Span up for the second time, the leadoff hitter, taking a breaking pitch for a strike.
Well, you can see how deep he is right there. There's, oh, my jelly's not working. But right there you can see how deep he's, and when he comes in, I don't think you have to play Alexi Casilla as a power hitter.
When you were in the Netherlands, did you call it the telly?
My telly, yes.
Swing and a miss by Span. No balls and 2 strikes. Dick Stockton along with the Dutchman Bert Blyleven, who's a tremendous achievement as a pitcher. And later on we'll show you some of the great things that Bert Blyleven did.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. And
we're
gonna well, not just about a third of them. We don't have room. It's like 5 pages of great things.
All right.
And
you're also Dutch.
I am Dutch, so we have two Dutch people.
2 Dutchmen.
And Chris Visser is a Dutchman also. We're dominating the booth today.
This will be the best telecast ever.
Swing and a miss on a fastball, and Span goes down. That's the second out. And the first strikeout of the game for David Huff, and that will bring up Orlando Cabrera.
Oh, he got it at the right time right there. A couple runners on, 1 out. You need something good to happen, and Huff picked up a strikeout.
So here is Cabrera, who now has hit in 30 of 32 games. He had a 7-game hitting streak prior and missed one, and then went on the 22-game string. And of course, after last night going 0 for 4, has a base hit here. And the count, no balls and 1 strike to the Twins shortstop. So Cabrera, the addition of Cabrera and Pavano to help the Minnesota club down the stretch. Here's the 0-1 pitch off the end of the bat. Valbuena out and holds onto it. Makes a fine play to retire the side, and a run would have scored. 1 to see again, Valbuena.
Snow cone, anybody?
We'll return after a break from your local Fox station. Presented by Gillette Body Wash, the official body wash of Major League Baseball. And we go to the third inning. It's 1-0 in favor of the Indians, and we're really pleased to have Carl Pavano joining us in the Twins dugout. And Carl, it's been a wild season for you. You pitched for the Indians. Now you're pitching for the Twins. Great pickup for Minnesota.
How you doing, guys?
Good to see you. Joe Mauer leading off. I'm sorry, it's the correction. Jimenez leading off. Mauer will be up next inning. I was so excited, Bert, about seeing Mauer, Morneau, and Kadire.
Forgot about
next inning.
We are too, Dave.
I thought the Indians were going to take a pass.
Holy shit!
Foul ball, and the mic is open, and so therefore you see some words we must apologize for. Anyway, Carl, tell us how you feel, Carl, and we're live television,
I feel pretty
baby.
Good, yeah. I'm sorry about that. That was actually Harris next to me that said that.
Oh, yes, yeah. You're a stationary target there.
Yeah, you know what? When I started the inning, I didn't know if this was a good place to sit.
Yeah, well, now you know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Right? So Jimenez taking a call strike, and it's 1-1. So, you know, obviously the Twins are pleased to have you, not only because of what you've done against the Tigers, but they could use you in the pitching department badly at this point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, starting pitching sets the tone, and you know, it's exciting watching Baker go out there and do his job, and you know, we have to follow suit. I mean, we set the tone in the game. It's like that everywhere. Starting pitching, you know, obviously wins ball games.
Scott Baker with the 2-hit shutout last night.
Hey, Carl, coming over, do you feel some responsibility as a veteran, because there's a lot of young guys other than Baker? Last night was his 99th Major League start, but you've had a lot of Major League starts. Do you feel that you're coming not only as a very consistent pitcher, but as a teacher?
Oh, definitely. And it's not my first time being in this position, but I actually take pride in that. I mean, I've been through a lot in these games. I've been at the top, at the bottom. I've, you know, pitched in the World Series. I've experienced a lot of different emotion in this game, and anything I could pass on to these younger guys to help them, you know, be more consistent and get that learning curve. I mean, we all went through our bumps as young pitchers, especially starting pitchers. But you know, you got to continue to improve and every day come to the field and make yourself better. And I see a lot of that in these guys. I think I've had actually a good time.
Gomez in center field retires Jimenez. Sizemore will come up.
Hey, Carl, let me ask you, do you go out of your way to talk to the kids, or do they come to you?
I think there's definitely been open dialogue. You know, these kids are, you know, they're welcoming, you know, obviously with anything I have to say. But I'm not one type of guy that's going to act like I know everything. You know, I've been through, like I said, I've been through all different, you know, aspects of the game, good and bad. So, you know, I mean, during BP is really when we do a lot of talking. We sit out there and we got that hour together where, you know, there's a lot of questions going around. I'm asking them a lot of questions, trying to get to know them, and as well as they're trying to get to know me.
Carl, after your experience with the Yankees, and you were really on the shelf, what was your mental thought at that time? As Sizemore hits a drive deep to right center field, going back is Gomez, and it is gone. A home run by Grady Sizemore, second home run of the game off of Anthony Swarzak, and the Indians have taken a 2-0 lead on Sizemore's 16th home run of the year.
Well, Gomez has outstanding speed. He was shading Sizemore a little bit toward left center. He has to go a long way for this ball, and Sizemore with that uppercut swing. It's his 16th home run of the year. You can see Gomez just couldn't get there in time. If he's there maybe, you know, another split second, he might have a chance to leap and catch that ball.
So Jamie Carroll is up now, and again, Carl, your thoughts about your you know, the downtime.
I'm sorry, I lost track of the question.
Well, the question concerned, you know, the injury and the fact that you were unable to pitch.
The time, I mean, it was a frustrating 4 years. I mean, I wish that I'd known, but you know, it's part of the game. It's perseverance. You got to. I think the biggest thing is I always believed in my ability when healthy to go out there and do my job. And it was just about sustaining that health and getting back into my routine and going out there every fifth day and competing. And I've been able to do that, you know, this year, and I think you know, I'm starting to put everything together again.
Well, you've got a guy to your right, Kevin Slowey, now that has that cast on when he had that bone chip removed off of his right wrist. That, you know, when you're on the disabled list, and I was on a disabled list a couple times in my career, you don't feel like you're part of the ball club. That's probably the hardest thing to go through.
Oh, it is. It is. And, you know, I think, you know, when you're playing professional sports, you're proving a lot to yourself every time you go out there to compete, good or bad. And you're getting a chance to do it, whether it's good or bad. And when you're hurt, you don't get that chance to prove yourself, you know, self-worth to yourself and what you work hard for. So that's the toughest thing. And obviously, you know, helping the team win games, which is #1. But there's personal satisfaction of going out there and doing your job and seeing the hard work that you put in between your starts pay off. And when you don't do that, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, because everybody at this level has that inner drive, and when that is taken away because you cannot perform, I mean, you just sit there and you go, oh,
your mind plays games with you. Yes, it really does. And you know, we all go through it, and I think you could learn a lot from it. I mean, the downtime should make you hungrier when you're out there to obviously not take anything for granted. And it also gives you a perspective that you know, this game isn't going to be around forever, and anything that you leave on the table, it's not a good thing. You gotta exhaust every scenario to make yourself better, because when this game's over, you know, it doesn't last forever. You want to be able to have a peace of mind that you did everything to make yourself better.
Foul ball down the right field line. The count remains 3-2. We're talking with Carl Pavano, who's now has 10 wins on the season and 4-0 against the Tigers. Will you have to understand what the Indians are going through, having been with them?
Yes, I mean, I've been in, you know, in that situation with other teams as a young player, and it's not fun. It's not fun for anyone, but it's part of the game, and you have to accept it. But it shouldn't change you. It shouldn't change your approach at all. I mean, you still got to go about it every day to make yourself better. Come to the field, work hard, and make things happen. I mean, there's no excuses. You're getting paid to do this job. They're putting the best men on the field, and you got to go out and do it. You know. It's a business, and sometimes the decisions that management makes, you know, aren't always in the favor that you would like. But you know, you have no control over that. The only control you really have is the preparation you put into going out there and being successful.
Hey, Carl, we have a lot of Indian fans that are watching this ball game too. I'm sure you want to thank the Indian organization for giving an opportunity to get back to the major league level, and then also showing that your arm is healthy.
Oh, I mean, you know, when I sat down with Mark and Lonnie and you know, the front office, you know, they explained to me the environment that they create for their players, and you know, I hadn't been part of it, so everything they told me came true, and then some. I mean, it was a great organization, a great city. The fans were fantastic. They supported us through thick and thin, and we had some trying times this year as an organization, and they were always there for us. And you know, it's unfortunate the way things have turned out, but you know, they still have a great team out there, and a great team that's going to go out there and win ball games. You know, with a management that's going to put the guys out there that are capable of doing that. So, you know, obviously, I can't say enough about the organization or the city. I mean, it's with preparation and opportunity, it could create a lot. And I've gotten this opportunity here to sit in this dugout because of the opportunity they gave me, and you know, I'll never forget that.
Very well put.
All right. Carl Pavano was with us, and the Indians mounting a charge here, taking a 2-0 lead. Back-to-back singles by Jamie Carroll and Asdrubal Cabrera, runners at first and third after the first out of the inning, and that brings up Jin-Soo Choo, who led off last inning with a home run.
Yeah, that pitch out over the plate to Choo last time. We'll see how Joe Mauer moves behind the plate as he sits inside, and the ball left out over the plate a little bit.
So the Indians trying to tack on to their 2-0 lead here in the third inning. We mentioned how the Indians took 2 out of 3 from the Twins the last time they played, and of course Minnesota losing 2 out of 3 here to the Kansas City Royals this past week before Cleveland came in. Yeah,
Dick, you don't want to downgrade another organization or other ball club, but if you want to stay in the race, they had to beat the Royals 2 out of 3. They were thinking sweep going in. The same thing for the Cleveland Indians. They've made a lot of trades. They've traded a lot of great players. So when the Indians come in and you're in a pennant race like the Twins are, you think sweep. Well, if you lose one, okay, we have to win 2 of 3. You can't let things like this happen, and that's what's happening to Swarzak. His last 2 starts, as I mentioned, 3 innings, 1 inning, and now here in the third inning, he's leaving some pitches up, and the Indians are taking advantage of it.
And there you see Jin-Soo Choo, and ranking at the top in those categories for the Indians this season. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out. Runners at first and third. Indians have already hit 2 home runs.
Now, Chu in his 4th season is Brian Dunsing, a left-hander, who is maybe, if Swarzak does not pitch good here, might be a starter for the Twins, along with someone that just came up, Jeff Manship. Manship also a 21 starts in the minor leagues. Dunsing 13 starts. So the Twins trying to find that right combination for that 5th starter. And Swarzak has got to bear down right here.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Chu. Indian runners at first and third, and the 2 rookies matched up, and you don't know what you're going to find today. And David Huff starting for the Indians. Twins loading the bases, did not score in the 1st inning. Diving back to first is Cabrera. Carroll is the runner at third base. And Carl Pavano, you know, your feelings, the Twins, a great reputation, solid organization. Before you came here, you knew about all that.
Yes, I did. And I've played against them for a number of years, so all the guys that have been through the organization are with the organization, and I couldn't be happier where I am right now.
Cabrera was running on the pitch, is fouled off, and it remains 3-2. Well, Carl Pavano, we want to thank you for joining us, adding to our broadcast today, and continued luck with the Twins down the stretch.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Carl. Well, Chu, 27 years old. He's from South Korea. Is in his 4th season with the Indians. Came over from the Seattle Mariner organization. RBI situation right here.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Cabrera runs, and it's hit out to center field. Gomez coming over to make the catch. Tagging up is Carroll. He'll score. And the Indians now lead it 3-0. And for Chu, his 64th run batted in of the season.
Yeah, good at bat right there for Chu, because you know what? He doesn't want to hit into a double play. So that ball up in the air, he just hits that ball. It's a sacrifice fly. Gets the job done, and the Indians take a 3-0 lead.
There is Chu, who, by the way, still has 2-year military obligation in Korea before he turns 30. Right now, he's 27 years old, or the alternative is to apply for U.S. citizenship. So that remains to be seen as Johnny Peralta comes up to the plate with the runner at first and 2 down. Throw to first and getting back. 2 runs in for the Indians. A run in the second, 2 here in the third, 3-0 leading the Twins.
See, those little things right there, what Chu was able to do is what Michael Kadire could not do in the 1st inning with bases loaded and 1 out. He ended up popping it up in the infield to Peralta in foul territory. Those are the little things that help win a ball game. It may not seem important in the 1st or 2nd inning, but all of a sudden you get into the 7th and 8th inning, and it's a 3-2 game rather than maybe a 3-3 game.
There was a situation this week with the Twins with Denard Span not advancing a runner from 2nd to 3rd and hitting to the left side.
And Ron Garden had a nice conversation about that. He jumped on the 1st pitch with a runner at 2nd and hit a ground ball to 3rd. Those are the little things that Ron Gardenhire or Eric Wedge are trying to teach these young players how to play the game.
Peralta's fly ball lands foul by about 6 feet. Johnny Peralta, who doubled and was thrown out on a aborted attempted double steal where there obviously was a missed sign last inning, and the runner comes back. Cabrera to first base. No balls and 2 strikes to the Indians' 3rd baseman.
The game of baseball is so intriguing because it's a team game. You win as a team, but as an individual you have to do the little things to create a good team, and that's where you have Carl Willis, you have Eric Wedge, you have guys that have been through the wars more or less and be able to help these young kids realize that with a man on 2nd base, move them over. Those are the team things. Even though you might take an offer because you hit that ground ball to 2nd, those are the good team things that help you win throughout your career.
Well, it's fundamental baseball, and of course that's the first thing that they work on in spring training. Can't rely on the home run unless you're Earl Weaver and want the 3-run homer all the time. Runner doesn't go, and there's a chopper to shortstop. Orlando Cabrera makes the throw, and that ends it, but 2 runs come in. Chu with a sacrifice fly, but it was Great East Sizemore's one-out home run, second homer of the game for the Indians. Home plate umpire Wally Bell, as there's a sign, "Circle me, Bert. It's my birthday," and Wally Bell gave the young fan a souvenir, and something I'm sure he'll never forget.
And you are hereby circled, young fan, right there. My telly is on the blink right now, but happy 12th birthday to you.
Joe Mauer leading off, and he hits a sharp ball into center field for a base hit. So Mauer, who was 3 for 3 last night, 2 for 2 so far today. And that's why he has that lofty batting average in the high 370s. Leadoff hit for Mauer.
Unbelievable. He's one of these hitters that always seems to get the big part of the bat on the ball. Breaking ball away. He doesn't try to do too much. See how well he is balanced at home plate. Great follow through. And Joe Mauer does have some power this year. 21 home runs at a career high.
Mauer 5 for 8 against Huff in his career, and now Justin Morneau looks at ball one. Morneau walked his first time up. He comes in leading the league in RBIs with 93. So Mauer is on base, nobody out. Twins trying to fight back, trailing 3-0.
Good pitch right there by Huff, outer half of the plate. Good fastball.
David Huff from Huntington Beach, California. And he knows where to go to get some people to help him. He hired Frank Viola, as the Indians did, to work with Huff in spring training. Viola, of course, the World Series MVP in '87, Cy Young Award winner the next year.
Yeah, Indians have a lot of left-handers, not only in their rotation, but also in the minor leagues. And Frankie, a good friend of mine, I talked to him a lot. I was the pitching coach for the WBC, the Dutch team. And I talked to Frankie a lot during that time. Frankie enjoyed his time with the Indians in spring training.
How was that experience?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it, especially when we beat the Dominican Republic for the second time. It's like a World Series win, Dick. It's unbelievable. Great for the country, great for Holland, great for Aruba, great for Curacao. And it's an experience that I know that a lot of the guys that participated had a lot of fun.
I know that the Red Sox many years had scouts in in the Netherlands, and there was a pitcher named Win Remmerschwal.
Yes, yeah.
Who was one of the early Dutch pitchers. 3 balls and 2 strikes off the glove of Huff. Recovers and underhands it over to Jimenez for the out as Mauer advances. And there's one away.
That play right there as a pitcher, you know, once you let that ball go and it's hit softly like that, you have 2 choices: to go after it or think that maybe it's going to be a double play. The ball left up, but your first reaction is go get it. And that might have been a double play if he had let it go, but as a pitcher, you have to go after that ball. And on the play, Joe Mauer moves to second.
And that brings up Michael Kadire. Indians lead it 3-0, and swinging at the first pitch, pop up to first base, and Jimenez in fair territory makes the catch for the second out. Mauer goes back to second. Well, next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Mark Teixeira and the AL East leading Yankees head to Boston to take on Dustin Pedroia and the Red Sox. Another showdown between the bitter rivals, or the Cubs battle the NL West leading Dodgers in a possible playoff preview. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Gillette Body Wash, returns next week at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox. Joe Crede looks at ball 1. The White Sox are playing at Oakland this afternoon and have a 4-0 lead there in the 4th inning of that game. And of course, you know, the Twins trying to surpass both the White Sox and the Tigers in the AL Central. And Crede hits it in the air to right center field. And Sizemore makes the catch, so the leadoff single by Mauer goes by the boards. We've completed 3-0 Indians. I'm going to ask the first and you ask the second.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Presented by Gillette Body Wash. It's sponsored by Valspar Paint. Valspar, the beauty goes on. By Zantac. Heartburn, attack it. Zantac. And by Chevy. Indians with a 3-0 lead. We'll send up Travis Hafner, Luis Valbuena, and Wyatt Villegas here in this 4th inning against Anthony Swarzak. And Hafner reached base. He was a runner at second base, hit a pop to the left side of the infield, and Cabrera and all of the Twins lost it, and the ball bounced safely, so a single for Hafner.
Yeah, Swarzak 62 pitches so far here in 3 innings. Too many pitches. You'd like to, as a starter, to throw between 12 and 15 pitches an inning, so he can get late into the ball game. But a big inning for Swarzak. He gave up 1 run on a home run by Chu in the 2nd, and then this Sizemore home run, and then another RBI sacrifice fly by Chu for an early Indians 3-0 lead.
1-1 to Hafner, and the shortstop Orlando Cabrera is playing deep beyond that line, indicating the outfield close to second base. There's a breaking pitch down low, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. There you see the positioning of Cabrera and Alexi Casilla as well. No surprise there against the left-handed hitter.
Well, you see, if Hafner could go that way, you know, I mean, you got plenty of room down that left field line, but you put your defense as the pitcher pitches. And right there, Swarzak and Hafner are able to find a hole in that infield.
Well placed. So the leadoff hitter is on, and we had a chance to talk to the Twins manager, Ron Gardenhire, and every year the Twins hang in there to the very end. What are the intangibles that allow the Twins just to hang in there to the end and challenge?
Well, believe in each other. You know, you have that tight-knit clubhouse. We talk about, you know, keeping ourselves in our little bubble and working, you know, 9 innings as hard as we can. And these guys believe in it. And you got some good leaders in the Mowers and the Morneaus and Joe Nathan and guys like that. And that's what has to happen in the clubhouse. We root for each other pretty hard. And we try to play 9 innings every night, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, Gardy, you know, being a former pitcher myself, you know, I mean, pitching. It's all about pitching, and you need better starts.
Yeah, consistent. I think our biggest streak this year has been 4 games, and that mostly goes back to inconsistent starting pitching. We've got good pitchers. It's just been a little bit of a rough go for them, but we have some time here, and the league hadn't run away from us. Our division hadn't, so hopefully you never know what happens. We just got to pitch better.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks for joining.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay.
Valbuena flying out to Delman Young in left field, so there's 1 away. Hafner, who's 2 for 2 on the day, is at first base, and Wyatt Torregas, the catcher, the rookie, fly to center field his first time up.
It's got to be frustrating for a manager. I mean, you know, Eric Wedge has gone through a lot over the last year and a half with a lot of the trades that the organization has made, but a guy like Ron Gardenhire, that's a student of the game, and you know, like you said, you've got great leaders out there.
Throw to first base, not in time. Line shot handled by Creedy, and didn't give Hafner much of a chance to get off first base there.
Boy, Torregas hitting this ball sharply, and Creedy right away throwing it over to Kadire. But Hafner diving back in safely. But you think of Gardy, I mean, you know, it's got to be frustrating when you don't have the consistency in the starting staff, because it is all about the pitching.
What do you think will be an indication that the Twins could get that down the stretch?
It's just these young kids believing in themselves and attacking the strike zone. You know, so many things in today's game is revolved as a starter by the pitch count. And someone that doesn't believe in the pitch count, like myself, you find out what these kids are made out of. There's no reason why pitchers cannot throw 110, 120 pitches. The hitters will let you know when you're done.
But in the minor leagues, they're not training them.
No, they're not conditioned that way.
1-0, the count to Jimenez, who hits a line shot to left field. Delman Young back and makes the catch on the warning track. So Hafner with the leadoff single goes by the boards for the Indians, who are retired after that. In the middle of the 4th, it's 3-0. Twins batting in the fourth inning, trailing 3-0, and Delman Young leading off. Walked his first time, leading off the second inning. Taking ball one from David Huff, who was allowed 4 hits thus far in the game, all singles. 1 ball and 1 strike. Young led off the second with a walk, and then a base hit by Casilla, and then Mauer singled to start the third.
Yeah, Huff doing a better job of pitch control. 51 pitches coming into this inning. Little cutter right there. Huff with that big curveball and then a slider. They say when he has pitched some of his better ball games that he has had a very good changeup. Again, everything keys off the fastball, but if you can hit your spots, good changeup right there. And Delman way out front, right off the end of the bat.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, we talked about Frank Viola. He had one of the game's best circle changeups, you know, so that's something I'm sure that Huff learned from him in spring training.
And look at the pitch count by inning and how it's diminished. Of course, he's only facing his first batter here in the fourth inning, but an 11 pitch inning helping him out last inning. Mauer with the leadoff single and then retiring the side.
Yeah, left the bases loaded in the first inning. Twins have left 6 men on base.
Base hit by Young starts the Twins fourth. Talk to Eric Wedge, and a fine line that he has to follow, getting to look at prospects the rest of the way and also trying to play the role of spoiler.
Well, I mean, we're out here to try to win every game, no doubt about it. That's first and foremost. But we also have a lot of young ball players up here we're trying to develop at this level, and we feel like they've got a strong future, and we're going to continue to work hard to come out here and get better every day.
Eric Burp-Lileven here. Carl Willis has done a great job with so many different pitchers. Your coaching staff,
right? They've
gone through a lot.
Well, they have, but you know what? They're staying the course. I mean, they understand what we're doing, what we're trying to do, and they're great workers. And Carl's one of the best in the game, and we're going to continue to push forward.
Eric, thank you very much. Look forward to it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Eric.
No balls and a strike to Gomez, and now it's 0-2 the count to him. The Cleveland Indians off to the rough start early, never in the race. The Twins trying to straighten things out since the All-Star break are 11-15.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Carl Willis because there have been 28 different pitchers for Carl Willis. You almost need a name tag. And Huff picking up his second strikeout, good high fastball.
Well, there's one away, and as Casillas coming up. Lexi singled his first time up. Delman Young on at first base. The Twins have had the leadoff runner on in each of the last 3 innings. They have left 6 on in the game, including the bases loaded in the first. Fastball outside. 1-0 the count. Again outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Casilla.
Yeah, Huff trying to work that outer half of the plate. Casilla, 25 years old, from the Dominican Republic. He came over to the Twins back in 2005 for J.C. Romero from the Angels.
And it's now 3-0. He hit 281 last year in 98 games and was recalled from the AAA farm in Rochester in mid-July. And now Huff behind on the count, 3-0. He has walked 2 thus far.
Well, you don't want to walk that number 9 hitter. There's a strike.
So it's 3-1. Denard Span, his leadoff hitter, waiting on deck.
As a pitcher, you stand out there and you turn around and you look at that scoreboard and it says a 184 batting average and you're 3-1. What are you going to throw? You're going to throw another fastball, hopefully right down the middle.
He does, and it's lifted in the air to right field. Jamie Carroll with a catch, and that'll be 2 out as Young goes back to first. And now it's time for a DirecTV game break in a tough moment as David Wright gets hit in the head by Matt Cain and is down right there in the helmet, taken to the hospital. Mets leading in the game 1-0 over the Giants. And what a season it has been for the Mets as far as injuries, problems with the front office and what have you, and a team that has really underachieved, under 500.
Well, a lot of people were picking the Mets to win that Eastern Division, and right now they're 12 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies in 4th place.
Want to remind you to watch your favorite MLB team no matter where you live with DirecTV. Denard Span, 0-1 to him, 0 for 2 for the game. Fouled out to Peralta and then struck out. Twins have 5 hits, all singles. Trying to get back in this game, trailing 3-0. Another foul out of play, and it's 0-2. David Huff hanging in there. Coming off a victory against the White Sox, and a young Twins fan can't get over looking at his new souvenir and all decked out. That's a pretty nifty uniform he's got on.
Yes, it is. Sure is.
Everyone has smiles in that picture. That's what you get when you come to a ball game.
Yeah, that's why you bring your family. It's still affordable. You take pictures, lasting memories, and then a souvenir. He probably barehanded it too.
Probably caught it with 3 fingers, right? Huff's 0-2 pitch, and it's served out to shortstop. Cabrera will step on second, and that's it. So once again, Twins get the leadoff man on, and the door shuts. We've completed 4. Indians up 3-0. And there's a young fan with a bat, so you know he's going to be a hitter.
How can you not circle that young man right there?
That's right. Grady Sizemore homered his last time up, 1 for 2 on the day, and a breaking pitch is up high. Sizemore now with 16 homers, 58 runs batted in, as Jin-Soo Choo and Grady Sizemore have accounted for 2 of the 3 Indian runs with homers. Anthony Swarzak making his 11th start of the year and falls behind 2-0.
Now we talk about all the trades that the Indians are making. How about some of them that they did make? And, you know, that was with the Expos back in 2002 when they got Grady Sizemore and Cliff Lee for Bartolo Colon. Pretty good trade for the Indians at that time.
Yeah, that's a good organization. And, you know, it's nice to have a crystal ball and know exactly how everything is going to work out in the long run. But sometimes you make moves, and the fans may not like it now, but they sure will like it later. For example, Justin Masterson on the walk to Sizemore as he goes down to first base. Pitched last night. Has not started that much for the Red Sox. Was a long reliever, and he got shelled by the Twins. Victor Martinez wins the game for the Red Sox, a game-winning double against the Texas Rangers, but Masterson is really a building block for this club.
Well, I remember talking to Johnny Farrell, the pitching coach for the Boston Red Sox, and he said at the time that the Twins played Boston that Masterson was kind of the key to their bullpen. And to get a Victor Martinez, you have to give up something. And they gave up a very young, upcoming starter for the Indians. He struggled a little bit with his control, but he's got an outstanding fastball, good location with that hard slider, and he'll get better every time out.
And there is Rick Anderson out to the mound. Brian Dunsing is up throwing again in the Twins bullpen. Right now, here's today's Gillette trivia question. Joe Mauer currently leading the American League in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage. Now, who was the last American League player to lead in all three categories in the same season? We're going to let the
I was going to say,
Bert knows.
I'm going to let there's a Steve S out there that might.
Why don't you write it down, and I will now nod to you as to whether you have it or not. Okay.
Okay, but
you can't give it.
No, I'm not. I don't want to give it away yet.
Jamie Carroll singled and scored a run his last time up. Sizemore with the lead at first, and it's in there for a strike. Carroll will be followed by Asdrubal Cabrera. There's Dunsing.
Yeah, Dunsing up for the second time. And here's my guess right here, Dick.
Okay. I'm nodding yes. But at least we're letting the fans
yes. Oh, for sure.
Do it. But you're absolutely right. Throw to first base.
Keep an eye on Sizemore now. He's not the base stealer this year that he has been over the years, but still always a possibility to try to steal second.
10 stolen bases in 18 tries, and when you're up 3-0, it's not a bad recipe.
No, not at all. I mean, you're up by 3 runs. You take the gamble right here. Sizemore's trying to get a good lead.
And there's a base hit to right field.
He doesn't have to worry about stealing it.
He'll go to second. So Carroll with his second hit going the opposite way. He's 2 for 3. Sizemore's is at second. And the Indians have runners at first and second, nobody out. In the heart of their order coming up, Asdrubal Cabrera is coming up, and there is Ron Gardenhire out to make the pitching change. So Brian Dunsing, the left-hander from Omaha, will be coming in for the Twins when we return. allows 8 hits and 3 runs.
Yeah, we talked about Carl Willis, being a teacher with young kids. Rick Anderson, the same thing. Swarzak again, this is his rookie season. And
Cabrera up the middle and a base hit to center field. They're going to wave in Sizemore, and he'll score the 4th run of the game for the Indians. Stopping at second is Carroll. So on the first pitch, Asdrubal Cabrera, with his 2nd hit of the game, drives in his 47th run of the year. And it is now 4-0 in favor of Cleveland. So what a way to greet Brian Dunsing.
Yeah, Dunsing making his 14th appearance. Now, he made 1 start against the Chicago White Sox here in early July, but he's a fastball pitcher, and Asdrubal Cabrera jumped on that fastball and hit that hard ground ball right up the middle.
So our Zantac relief pitcher profile: heartburn, attack it, Zantac. Shin-Soo Choo with a ground ball fielded by Kadire, flips over to the pitcher, not in time, and he might not have had his foot on the bag. Dunsing may not have been there. It looked like the throw might have been in time to get Choo, and the bases are going to be loaded as Carroll goes to third and Cabrera advances to second.
Well, this happens because Michael Kadire, normally a right fielder, he feeds Dunsing, but Dunsing, it looked like he got him right there, but first base umpire Marty Foster saying that Choo, who hustled out of the box, beat it out.
It's a base hit.
Take another look right there.
He got on the bag.
Yep.
And he might have had the runner. So bases are loaded with nobody out for the Indians. Looking to break this one open, Johnny Peralta, who has a double, and he's grounded out. Offers it the first pitch from Dunsing. Out of play.
Dunsing has thrown 3 pitches, and the Indians have been swinging away.
So Ron Gardenhire with another young pitcher, 26-year-old Brian Dunsing, hoping he can keep the score down, and the Twins in this game. Run already in. It's 4-0 in favor of Cleveland. And the fastball misses inside. Dunsing making his 13th relief appearance. Made the opening day roster before he was sent down on April the 13th and pitched for the U.S. Olympic team. Facing Johnny Peralta. Bases are loaded. Nobody out for Cleveland.
Yeah, Scott Baker, who started last night's ball game, picked up a shutout, his 2nd career shutout, by beating the Indians 11-0. Started the season on a disabled list, and Dunsing made the ball club out of spring training. And then when Baker was activated off the disabled list, he went back to AAA and made 13 starts, and then recalled in early July.
And a line drive to center field, and making the catch is Gomez. Tagging up is Carroll, and he'll score the 5th Cleveland run, 2nd this inning, as Asdrubal Cabrera holds at second. Choo at the first base. With 1 out, Peralta with his 61st run batted in of the year. And the Indians now lead it 5-0.
Well, the Indians doing the little things. The second sacrifice fly in this ball game, creating another run. And the first out recorded by the Twins.
Travis Hafner with a couple of base hits. So you heard Eric Wedge say, look, our first mission is to try to win the game and get a look at the younger players. And so far today, they're getting both done.
That's not always a bad thing, because with young players comes hunger and opportunity. And, they are kind of playing loosey-goosey, where the Twins, when you're in a pennant race, you say, we have to win. Well, that puts a little pressure on. Well, there's really no pressure on the Indians. They're just playing the game of baseball.
Nothing would be better for the Cleveland supporters than to see the team do well, win games, key games down the stretch, and also see the young players perform, because then when spring training comes around next year, and we have hope because we saw what they could do last year.
Yep, there's that positive thought, and that's what you want. You don't want any negatives going through the clubhouse. You want to play aggressively, and you see the Indians 12 games behind the Tigers.
There's the wild card deal with the Red Sox up 1.5 games over Texas. Tampa Bay has fallen by the wayside lately. They're now 5 out of the wild card as Hafner holds up. And the count, 2 balls and a strike to Travis Hafner.
Well, the book is closed on Anthony Swarzak. He worked 4+ innings, gave up 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned, with a walk and 2 strikeouts.
and allowing 2 home runs in the process. His 7th and 8th homers given up this year. 2-1 to Hafner. Check swing on the fastball in tight, and it's 3-1. Runners are first and second. 1 out here in the Indians' 5th inning. Scored a run in the second, 2 in the third, and have 2 already here in the 5th.
Hafner, a left-handed hitter that gets pretty close to that batter's box anyway with that open stance.
Infield playing around on the right, and a line shot to center field. It'll be a base hit, and Gomez will retrieve. They're going to wave in Cabrera. He'll score easily, and it's 6-0. So Travis Hafner now 3 for 3 on the day, and an RBI base hit gives him 31 runs driven in.
Well, he worked the count in his favor, got the fastball, and did not miss it. Hit it sharply in front of Gomez. Cabrera scores the 3rd run of the inning, and the Indians take a 6-0 lead.
They have 4 hits here in the 5th inning, and 11 hits, and we're only in the 5th inning. Here's Luis Balbuena 0 for 2. He struck out and fly to Delman Young and left. Runners at first and second. Still 1 out, up high, ball 1.
This is kind of what Gardy was talking about, Dick. You know, you go through stages. I mean, Baker pitching a shutout last night, and then you come back the next day, and there's the inconsistency of a good start. Right-hander Bobby Keppel starting to loosen up in the Twins bullpen.
Swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, we got to go back to our conversation about one of your former managers, Gene Mauch. First batter, base on balls. 70% of the time he scores, he scored. Brady Sizemore drew the walk.
Right.
And came around. It's been a big inning for the Indians, and they may not be finished yet. Runners at first and second, 1 out, and a foul at the plate. Sizemore walked. Carroll singled him to second. Asdrubal Cabrera with an RBI base hit. And then Chin-Soo Choo was safe on an infield hit. Sacrifice fly by Peralta, and then an RBI single by Hafner. Twins trailing 5-0. Reversal, so to speak, of last night when it was 11-0 in favor of Minnesota. That was the final. Here's the 1-2 outside, 2-2.
Yeah, within your division, you play each other 18 times. This is the 11th time that these two clubs have met this year. And the Twins have the advantage 6-4. But both these ball clubs have had games like this very one-sided.
The 2-2, and did he go around? Yes. Balbuena's strikeout victim, and there are 2 down.
Dunsing went there with that hard slider, and he picks up a strikeout. 2nd out of the inning. Did he go? Yeah, the barrel of the bat. The intent to go.
Well, the NFL is back with 2 Fox preseason specials beginning on Thursday as the Donovan McNabb Eagles take on Peyton Manning and the Colts. And on Friday, Chris Johnson and the Titans battle Tony Romo and the Cowboys. Both games start at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific in high definition, only on Fox. So the Eagles, of course, making news this week with the signing of Michael Vick, who is eligible to play in the 3rd and 4th preseason games, and then possibly starting in the 6th game of the regular season, or not starting, but eligible to play, but that could be changed according to Commissioner Goodell. So that's the story with the Fox doubleheader on preseason football. NFL is back. Wyatt Torregas with the count 1-1, 0 for 2 on the day, the 8th batter to come up for the Indians here in the 5th. Chu is at second base, Hafner at first. And Dunsing, and a base hit to left field by Torregas. Coming around, Sue will slide in safely, and the Indians continue their onslaught. And young Wyatt Torregas with his 5th RBI of the season, giving the Indians a 6-0 lead.
Well, fastball that kind of rode right about bell tie, and Torregas turning on it, driving in his 5th major league RBI, and it's a 7-0 lead for the Indians.
So Chris Jimenez will come up as the 9th hitter here in this inning, and a very quiet Metrodome it is, although the plates have been buzzing. They've had 12 consecutive crowds of 30,000 or more and great fan turnout, but today sitting on their hands as the Indians have forged in front 7-0. Fly ball center field. Gomez way back on the warning track, makes the catch to retire the side. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Indians. The Tribe up 7-0. We go to the last of the 5th. A powerful clean without dry skin. Well, a huge cushion for David Huff, the left-hander who's trying to get his record above the 500 mark to 7-6. As the Indians lead 7-0, Orlando Cabrera leading off, taking strike 1. Cabrera 1 for 2 with a base hit. It'll be the 2, 3, 4 hitters, Cabrera, Mauer, and Morneau for the Twins.
Yeah, Twins are left 7 runners on in the first 4 innings, but Huff has made that big pitch to get himself out of the inning. A couple walks in the ball game so far with a couple strikeouts. Huff at 69 pitches right now.
And a base hit to right field. Cabrera leading off with a single. So the Twins now have had the leadoff man on for the last 4 innings. And Joe Mauer coming up to the plate. Joe Mauer. Joe Mauer leading the league in hitting, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage. He's one of the stars in the league, and he has really set the tone, extending his hitting streak to 12 games earlier in this one. Is 2 for 2. Both singles to center field against David Huff, and coming up with a big opportunity. Twins have been able to get people on base early, but have not been able to get them around. Trailing 7-0. The first pitch, call strike to Mauer, who is now 6 for 8 against David Huff. So he's comfortable against the Cleveland left-hander.
Yeah, if you don't know, Joe Mauer grew up in St. Paul area, 26 years old, #1 pick, first overall in the 2001 draft by the Twins.
Maurer went to the same high school that did Paul Molitor and the Vikings' Matt Burke, who since has gone on to play for the Baltimore Ravens. Been the hottest hitter in the league this month.
Yeah, that high school Cretin-Durham Hall in St. Paul.
And the pitch is up high. The only American League catcher ever to win a batting championship, trying to win his second. I count 2 balls and 1 strike with Morneau on deck.
Hey, he won the batting title back in 2004 when he hit .347, and then last year he won it again hitting .328.
And lifts this in the air to shallow center field.
I don't know if Grady Sizemore really saw that ball.
Makes the catch and there's 1 out. Well, once again, here is today's Gillette trivia question. And Bert Blyleven had it on the money. Did you? Joe Mauer currently leading the American League in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage. Who was the last American leaguer to lead in all 3 categories in the same season? Who else?
Mr. George Brett.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty good company right there. Look at 4 of the 5 are Hall of Famers other than Fred Lynn, and he had a great career.
3 Red Sox players in Williams, Yastrzemski, and Lynn. This is Morneau on the first pitch. Grounds it foul.
Yeah, that went through the wickets of first base coach Jerry White.
Twins trying to mount something here, and with their heavy hitters coming up after Cabrera led off with a base hit. Mauer retired for the first time today by Huff. Morneau 0 for 1 walked his first time, and the count 1-1 to him. Twins have 7 games left against the Tigers, the first place team. They've won 7 of 12 against them thus far, and 6 against the second place White Sox. And they're 8-5 against Chicago. And the pitch missing, 2-1. 2-1 to Justin Morneau. As you take a look at the remaining games the Twins have against the plus 500 teams. Down low, 3-1.
Well, you can look at those all you want. If you can't beat the sub 500 teams, what good is that? Well, the Twins again trying to put a winning streak together, but you know what, like Eric Wedge said, these guys, even though they're young, they come to play. They want to win.
Well, we were talking about yesterday here at the Metrodome how you think you have an easy schedule of pushover down the stretch. They're loose.
Yeah, there's no pushover. No pushover.
And also, if they pitch some young pitcher you haven't seen before, first time out, very difficult to handle.
Yeah, Huff's done a good job here.
There's a line drive. It's going to be a base hit up the gap in right center field. Cabrera will round third. They're going to wave him in. Morneau will stop at second with a double, and the Twins finally score. And the crowd responds. It's a 7-1 game, and Morneau, now with 94 runs batted in, came in leading the league in RBI.
Well, Huff left the ball up, and Justin lined it in a perfect spot to allow Cabrera to score, pulling this ball toward right center. It took Grady Sizemore and that Baggy out there in the right field to finally stop that ball, and Cabrera hustling all the way around scores the first run off of David Huff.
So the Twins fighting, and of course, they're facing a rookie, and we're only in the 5th inning. It's a 6-run deficit now as Michael Kadire 0 for 2 coming to the plate and lets the first pitch go for ball 1.
Kadire came up in the first inning with bases loaded and popped it up, and then he jumped on the first pitch in the 3rd inning and popped it up. So he's got the pop-ups here today.
A little more patient this time as the fastball on the corner evens the count at 1-1.
Sometimes as a hitter you go to the ballpark and you have the ground ball problems. Kadire's got the pop-up problems. He's looking for the line drive problem.
Do they have a pill for the pop-up problem?
I'm sure they do.
How about that for an alliteration? would be a puny pill for a pop-up problem, I would think.
He needs a fastball about belt high. That'll take care of that pop-up.
Then he'll pop one out. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Base hit to right field. And they're going to hold Morneau at third as the throw comes into the infield. And when you're down 7-1, you're not going to take any chances on the base paths. But Kadire showing some patience, getting his first hit of the game. The third hit for the Twins here in the fifth. Runners at first and third and one out. And Joe Creedy will come to the plate.
Well, that's that fastball belt high that I was talking about. And Kadire, good piece of hitting, taking it the other way. Carl Willis, the pitching coach, on his way out to talk to his young left-hander.
No one is warming up in the bullpen. So trying to settle down David Huff. Well, everything you knew about fantasy football is about to change. Introducing the all-new Fox Fantasy Football with free live scoring, customizable leagues, and research tools. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and join the next generation of fantasy football.
Well, Carl Willis using his wisdom right there to get this left-hander through this inning. You need 5 innings to qualify for a win.
I got to tell the story about Bert Blyleven, and of course born in the Netherlands but lived in Southern California, and he and his buddies used to get into Anaheim Stadium in the mid to late 60s, and after the game was over, all the lights were out. He used to go to the mound, his buddy used to catch, and he used to throw. Guess what? The next year he was pitching for the Twins against the Angels with the lights on.
With the lights on.
That is a phenomenal story, and I thought it should be told because I've never heard anything like that, Bert. And you talk about sneaking into a park and getting a chance, and then finding yourself that young the next year pitching in that ballpark. Well, what happened when the lights were on?
I was scared. I didn't realize that ugly. But no, I ended up winning that ball game, and but my first pitch that I ever tried to throw in Anaheim Stadium, my right leg would not move. I had to start my windup and I had to stop because I was so nervous out there. Because, the only time I was out on that mound, the lights were out, and all of a sudden they turned the lights on.
No wonder that you probably thought no hitter could hit your pitches. There's a pitch for a ball to Creedy, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Creedy is 0 for 2, and the Twins trying to mount a rally here. Runners at first and third, with 1 out and 1 run already in for Minnesota.
You talk to people about the game of baseball, is how they fell in love with the game, and everybody has a different story. That ball fouled and over the head of Scotty Eldred, third base coach. Mine was just through my dad, listening to the Dodger games, listening to Vince Scully, describe a ball game on the radio, and watching Koufax pitch or Drysdale. And these young men right here, these are memories that they will have the rest of their life, and they're going to fall in love with the game of baseball.
Well, a great story, and a story that's never been told. And there's a base hit by Creedy through the hole. Morneau will score, and Kadire goes to second, and very quietly the Twins now trailed by 5 runs. An RBI for Creedy, his 45th of the year. The 4th hit of the inning, still 1 out, and it's 7-2, and things have to be getting a little anxious in the Cleveland dugout, Bert.
Well, Carl Willis already made a trip right there, and that pitch down, he got the ground ball, but credit Joe Creedy, able to pull that ball in the hole. You want to pitch down in the strike zone, and you tip your hat sometimes. It's hard to do as a pitcher, but Creedy hit a pretty good pitch. It could have been over a couple feet, maybe turned a double play, but instead it's an RBI single for Creedy.
So Kadire's at second, Creedy at first, still 1 out, and 90 pitches have been thrown by David Huff, and we're still in the 5th inning, and bullpen activity begins for the Indians down the right field line. 1 ball and 1 strike to Delman Young, who's been on base twice by a walk and a single. So finally, in the 4th straight inning, the Twins got the leadoff man on, and they finally have capitalized. And there is a Rafael Perez, left-hander, throwing. 1-1 to Young, 2-1 now. Dick Stockton along with Bert Blyleven, the great pitcher who pitched for so many teams. And we'll bring you up to date on what my partner today has achieved in his career. And believe me, he did not only pitch for winning teams. He did pitch in World Series. He pitched for many clubs. There you see the way they honor him here at the Metrodome.
Yeah, they took that out of the bathroom today. And hung that.
Very humble you are. Swing and a miss.
Well,
foul back. 3-2.
Huff's just leaving some pitches up this inning, and that's what's hurting him.
Let's take a look now at this career. 15 or more wins 10 times. 5th all-time in strikeouts, 242 complete games. You were the top rookie pitcher. You won a game before your 20th birthday and won a game after your 40th birthday.
It was a lot of fun.
What more does anyone want? 3 balls, 2 strikes, foul out of play. No, down the right field line, and it is out of play. And it looked that way from the start. And let me ask you this, Bert, and I know anyone who has performed as well as you did in your career, obviously the crowning glory would be the Hall of Fame. When Jim Rice went in this year, that had to make you feel good.
Yeah, it really did. It took him 15 years to get in, but you know, Ricky Henderson, Jim Rice, 2 guys that I got to compete against.
But it took him a while, too.
Yes, it did. It did. And I have 3 more years on the ballot. Hopefully one day the call will come for me, but I'll just wait. There's nothing I can do about it. It's up to the writers. You know, numbers, baseball's a numbers game. Numbers speak for themselves.
But the volume of the variety of numbers is impressive in your case.
Well, thank you.
3-2 pitch and a high pop fly down the right field line. Coming on over and making the catch is Carroll in foul territory. And no advance. Runners remain at first and second, and now 2 down.
Well, nice play by Carroll, because you know, if you know anything about Carroll, he's an infielder turned outfielder. And right here, don't take your eye off that ball, Jamie Carroll, and he does not. And makes a nice running catch in foul territory. So a big second out for David Huff.
And here's Carlos Gomez. Struck out his last time, 0 for 2 on the day. Twins have 2 runs in here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and 2 runners on base. Call strike to Gomez. So the Twins quiet for the first 4 innings, and then busting out against left-hander David Huff. 1-1 to the Twins center fielder. The Twins loaded the bases, as Bert mentioned, in the first inning. Got 2 hits and did not score. They had 2 runners on base in the second, including the leadoff man. Leadoff man on in the third, as well as the fourth, and did not score. Fastball just getting a piece of it, fouling it back.
Yeah, Huff just working too much of them down the middle of the plate this inning. You know, sometimes you go out there as a pitcher and you walk a tightrope, and you can work out of some situations like Huff did in the first 4 innings, but here, those fastballs he's leaving out over the plate, Twins are not missing this inning. Gomez just fouling off a ball, and as a pitcher, I always looked, that hitter foul that ball straight back. I'm not going to throw that pitch again. Another fastball up. I'm going to try to change his eye angle a little bit, because Gomez fouled that ball straight behind the catcher's head.
Well, that's been the story, I guess, for both of the pitchers today. Including Huff, who had given up 15 homers in his 16 starts. None today, but the location of his fastball, too much of the plate, and he's been burned by that this year.
And you know what? They say when he's at his best, he throws that changeup. He's throwing him 2 fastballs right now that he's fouled off. Pull the string. Pull the string on him right here. They're going to go back another fastball up in the zone, and Gomez able to hold up. Says first base umpire Marty Foster.
Why would a pitcher continue to sort of throw the same kind of pitch continually and not change?
Well, unless you have a Nolan Ryan fastball or a Burp Lilevan curveball, you're going to throw the same pitch over and over. But you know, when you're a not a hard thrower like Huff, he can get that fastball 91, 92, but he needs to work the corners, and he's going out right now to talk to his catcher maybe about that.
David Huff. Twins coming in batting .417 against him, and he's done a pretty good job. And next week, the Yankees and the Red Sox, Cubs and the Dodgers. Fox Saturday Baseball, big week as we move in to the 3rd week of August. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, and a
big strikeout right there for David Huff.
They weren't sure it was the 3rd out of the inning, and now the Twins got 2 runs, but 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. We go to the 6th. Indians batting in the 6th inning, leading by 5. They led 7-0 before the Twins cashed in with 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the first pitch to Sizemore is a ball 1-0 from Brian Dunsing, who gave up 4 hits and 2 runs in relief of Anthony Swarzak last inning. Indians sent 9 men to the plate and scored 4 times on 5 runs, and the count 2-0 to Sizemore, who's had a big day. Home run, a walk in 3 trips, and has scored 2 runs. And a pop foul, not very high, handled by Mauer in foul territory for out number 1 here in the 6th inning. And here is the Hyundai in-game box score for the Indians, introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. And they've got a lot of multiple hit games, Bert.
Yeah, they do, especially the first 5 guys right there, or 4 guys. I mean, they've done a damage on the Minnesota Twins, Anthony Swarzak and Brian Dunsing. 12 hits for the Indians.
And 9 for the Twins in a 5-run deficit. And the first pitch is a call strike to Jamie Carroll. Carroll is single and scored 2 runs in his last 2 times up, 2 for 3 on the day. Fastball is outside, 1-1.
Carroll's always been a very good utility infielder. That's the way that I saw him, and now he's getting some playing time out on right field. In his 2nd season with the Indians, came up with the Expos, and he gets his 3rd hit of the ball game.
Single by Carroll with 1 out, so he has 3 hits, as does Travis Hafner. And right now it's time for a DirecTV game break. Top of the 7th inning, score tied 2-2, nobody out. Jason Worth hits a solo home run straight away to center field off Kenji Kawakami to give the Phillies the lead 3-2. 24th home run of the year for Jason Worth. Phillies leading in the National League East.
Boy, they have some power, don't they?
Yep, they do.
Chase Utley and Howard and Ibanez.
A lot at bats. So watch your favorite MLB team no matter where you live with DirecTV. Asdrubal Cabrera taking a call strike. He has 2 hits. So we have Carroll and Hafner both with 3 hits. And Cabrera has 2 hits. Rafael Perez, the left-hander who was up last inning, tossing for Cleveland. Call strike to Cabrera. The count, no balls and 2 strikes. So the Phillies with a 4.5 game lead coming in over the Florida Marlins. Very pesky. They don't seem like they're going to be going away. Atlanta there, and of course the Mets 7 under 500. And Bert was talking about them earlier as an underachieving club. Many people expected that they would win in that division.
Yeah, but nobody expected as many injuries that the Mets had that just kind of destroyed their season. You know, they're trying to catch 3 clubs now, and that Philly ball club, they're hot. You know, and then they go out and get Cliff Lee.
Pedro Martinez.
He's 3-0. Yeah, Martinez had a great first start. You know, he pitched in that WBC. I'm really surprised that nobody tried to get him before now, because he pitched against us, and that's not saying we didn't have that big of offense, but you know, I saw him pitch a couple other ball games. He pitched outstanding. His arm is healthy. So
hats off to the Phillies for being the alert team there.
Right.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Cabrera. Carroll the runner at first. Foul off. It remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the top of the 6th inning here at the Metrodome. Dick Stockton along with Bert Blyleven. The Indians have dropped 3 straight games, took a 7-0 lead, and the Twins battled back with 2 in their half of the 5th inning. For the first base by Dunsing, and Carroll gets back. Tigers lead this division. They've been in first most of the way, although right around the time that Burley pitched his perfect game, the White Sox jumped into first place by a half a game or a game, and then the Tigers took hold again. Up high with the breaking ball, 2-2.
This young man here, Cabrera, very good looking young player, 23 years old, from Venezuela, originally signed by the Mariners, traded over to the Indians in 2006. And he was a guy that got sent back and forth, but now that he's playing short, I think he feels comfortable there. He's playing at second. He was a natural shortstop, and a good hitter from both sides of the plate. As a right-handed hitter coming into the ballgame, hitting .296, .316 as a left-handed hitter.
Most of the outstanding Venezuelan shortstops played for the White Sox. Chico Carrasquel in the 50s, Luis Aparicio, Ozzie Guillen, their current manager. And you got Dave Concepcion with the Reds, and Cabrera here with the Indians. Here's a 3-2 pitch, the runner going, and the pitch foul back off the fastball. So Carroll will have to come back.
It's a young ball club now with all the trades and moves that the Indians have made, but you find guys like Cabrera and Valbuena has done a very good job at second. He also coming over from the Seattle Mariner organization. So the Indians might be changing their name.
Are they leaving Cleveland? Oh, you meant their throw to first base, and getting back is Carroll. Bobby Keppel, who had been throwing earlier for the Twins, there he is, warming up again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Carroll the runner at first, 1 out here in the 6th. Indians with a run in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, and 4 in the 5th inning. And after the Twins came back with 2, that was a pretty fortuitous inning for the Indians offensively.
And if you're a Twins pitcher, what you want to do is put a 0 on the board, allow the Twins to come back. But the Indians are trying to get the 2 runs back again.
Carroll takes off on the 3-2 pitch, fouled off the mask, it appeared, of Joe Mauer.
Yeah, that guy might have got a piece of Joe right there. He's kind of walking around, might have hit off that right shoulder. And you wonder how a guy can win 2 batting titles already, maybe a third. And that ball hitting right square in the mask. That's what's amazing, Dick, is that, you know, he's already won 2 batting titles, and, you know, the catchers get beat up.
You think of Johnny Bench, and of course, all he did offensively. And a long time ago, there was a player named Roy Campanella with the Brooklyn Dodgers, you know, who was a 3-time MVP. But a lot of those players were power hitters. But to be an everyday average hitter when you're behind the plate so many games, I think takes a little kind of special mentality and skill. Runner goes, and a pop fly. Right field, Denard Span will make the catch in foul territory for the second out. Carroll remains at first. Sounds of the game. And for the sounds, here's Wally Bell, the home plate umpire.
I gotta make sure. You know why? So if you pass out the ball, it's me, it hurts. All right? All right. I'm worried about you, I'm worried about me.
That wasn't a very high pop-up. So now here is Chin-Soo Choo.
That's good to have. I mean, you know, umpires go through a lot. You know, you talk about the players. Well, they go have 3-game homestands or whatever. You know, 10-day homestand. Umpires, they really don't have a homestand. They just travel from town to town.
1-0 pitch to Sue, and not hold up. It's 1-1. A home run in the second inning, his 14th of the year. Drove in another run with a sacrifice fly in the third, and then singled and scored a run. So it's been a fine day for Chin-Soo Choo, who has been really the offensive leader for most of the Indians' categories. 2 down. Carroll, the runner at first base. And you talk about the umpires, you know, as in football, there's no offense and defense coming off the field. And in baseball, they don't go to the dugout for half they're out there the whole way.
Yeah, you really do. You know, all the years that I pitch, you appreciate these guys. Bob Davidson right there, been an umpire a long time, the crew chief here.
He was at home plate last night.
Ask Eric Wedge, huh?
1 ball and 2 strikes. A kind of a weird situation. In fact, it was Wally Bello, I think, ultimately agreed with Ron Gardenhire, and we'll explain it when we have a moment here in a game that was really a blowout for the Twins. I believe it was the 6th inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chin-Soo Choo. 2 down. Carroll, the runner at first, and a foul ball. Well, Bert, what about last night's incident?
Well, with Justin Morneau up, a ball was tipped, and home plate umpire Bob Davidson, it looked like he either got Wally Bell or Joe Mauer on that. He said it was a foul tip, and they found out that Kelly Shopik did not catch the ball in the air. It actually hit the ground first, and the ball had a scuff on it, and Ron Gardenhire went out to ask, and Bob Davidson looked at the ball. It had the scuff on it from the ground, so Justin got another pitch or 2. And then Eric Wedge took offense to that because he thought it was out, and they had one of the greatest rhubarbs you'd ever want to see. Remind me of Earl Weaver.
3 balls and 2 strikes, and the reason why they went out to argue is that you want to protect your player here.
Well, here's a pitch right here. It's a breaking ball from Oka. And right there, so you can see the ball hit the turf. Now, he's saying it's a foul ball. Eric Wedge, I mean, this is a great conversation that they have. They just went on and on and on. They were face to face, nose to nose.
There goes Carroll on the 3-2 pitch, a foul ball. But, you know, all Gardy was doing was protecting, you know, Morneau. You know, if he deserves another pitch.
He wanted to get the call right. You know, they have the instant replays now for home runs. Umpires, you know, they make mistakes, and they corrected that, and Eric Wedge just protecting his team too.
So again, 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 down. Carroll will be off on the pitch, and 2 strikes out to end the inning. There was a hit and 1 left in the middle of the 6th here at the Metrodome. The Indians up 7-2. Rafael Perez, 3rd inning. Flomax replay.
Buck Grady Sizemore hitting a home run right there. Carlos Gomez just coming up a little short. And for Sizemore, that was his 16th home run of the year. And that gave the Indians a 2-0 lead at the time. Well, the Indians have added to that to have a 7-2 lead. Rafael Perez coming out of the Indians bullpen. Perez, a hard-throwing left-handed pitcher.
Facing Alexi Casilla, who is 1 for 2 with a single. Hard throwing it is in tight, moving Casilla back a bit, and the count 1-0.
Well, Perez making his 35th relief appearance, 28 innings pitched. He's allowed 43 hits with 20 walks and 21 strikeouts. So too many walks in 28 innings.
All strike 1-1. David Huff going 5 innings, allowing 2 runs on 9 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 3. So he pitches the 5 innings and looking for his 7th win of the year. The pitch is fouled at the plate and it's 1-2.
Perez up and down 3 times this year with the Indians. He started the season with the Indians, sent back down. He just got recalled recently, back on August 7th, when Carl Pavano was traded over to the Twins.
So he's up for the 3rd time this year. He's on the opening day roster. Appeared in 73 games with the Indians last year, had 2 saves, and his ERA was 3.54. Another foul ball. Weakly hit over to the left side. Casilla, they count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Will be followed by the top of the order, Denard Span, and then Orlando Cabrera. Indians leading 7-2. Big 4-run 5th for Cleveland, batting around, and along with the 2 home runs you mentioned by Sizemore and Shin-Soo Choo. Twins scoring twice last inning. Can they keep it going? Ground ball to Peralta at 3rd, and there's 1 away in the 6th. And here's the Hyundai in-game box score for the Twins and what they've achieved today. Introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe.
Well, you see Joe Mauer right there, 2 for 3, a couple singles. Came into the ball game hitting .375, and he's added to that lead in the American League. Justin Morneau picking up his 94th RBI.
Here's Denard Span. Span and Gomez are the only Twins not to hit safely. Running up to bunt and taking a strike is Span, who is 0 for 3 and is not to hit the ball out of the infield. Denard Span hitting .294 as a rookie last year. Has had some big moments this year as he takes ball 1-1-1, matching a career high with 5 hits, going 5 for 5 against the Tigers last Saturday. And a stalwart outfield.
Now again, a young man, 25 years old, that can play all 3 outfield positions. Spent some time on a disabled list this year with some inner ear problems. And Perez with that hard slider.
Interesting that Perez, a left-hander, has had his problems against lefties who are hitting .434 against him.
That's why he's been up and down. He just has not been very consistent. He mentioned his numbers last year, 73 appearances with a 3.5 ERA.
Different year this year. 1-2 pitch. Good pitch by Perez in on the fist and fighting it off the Span.
In bad hands by Scotty Alger at third base. Former infielder.
You have indicted now both of the Minnesota Twins coaches today.
And if I could get to Joel Skinner with the Indians, I'd do him too. There's Scotty Alger.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bobby Keppel, for the 3rd time, has started throwing in the bullpen. Right down the middle, strike 3, and Span goes down for the 2nd time on strikes, and there are 2 away.
Well, Perez threw a lot of sliders, and then he snuck that fastball in him. He picks up a strikeout. Biggest difference between Perez this year and last year. Last year he worked 76 innings. He walked only 23 batters. So far this year, like I said, 40 or 28 innings, 20 walks. It's just the walks. He's a strikeout pitcher.
Brings up Orlando Cabrera, 2 for 3. Couple of singles, and has scored a run. Of the 9 hits for the Twins, 8 have been singles. The only extra base hit was Morneau's double, driving in a run in the 5th inning. Count is no balls and a strike to Orlando Cabrera, who's a key part of the Red Sox 04 World Championship effort. There's a looper into center field, and making the catch is Sizemore. A 1-2-3 inning for Rafael Perez, doing a good job. We'll return to Minnesota after a break from your local Fox station. the official body wash of Major League Baseball. Third pitcher of the day for the Minnesota Twins, who trail the Indians 7-2. Bobby Keppel making his 18th showing of the year, third appearance against Cleveland. And will be facing Johnny Peralta, Travis Hafner, and Luis Valbuena. There's a new second baseman in the game for the Twins as well, as Peralta takes a fastball for a strike.
Yeah, Nick Punto taking over at second base. Bobby Keppel, the biggest thing for him is the control. 15 walks in 29 2/3 innings. A good sinker ball type pitcher with a hard slider. There's that good sinker right there.
Keppel was converted to a reliever by the Twins this year. Has also pitched for the Rockies and Royals, and there you see that nasty pitch.
Yeah, good sinker right there. The problem is he has at times a tough time controlling that good sinker. That's where he misses, down and in.
1-2 to Peralta.
Keppel, 27 years old, 6'5", about 215. Signed a minor league contract with the Twins over the winter.
Native of St. Charles, Missouri. Check swing, and it's a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Peralta, who is a 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. Sacrifice fly in the 5th inning as the Indians scored 4 times. Anthony Swarzak started for the Twins, worked 4 innings, gave up 5 runs on 8 hits, including 2 homers. Brian Dunsing worked 2 innings and allowed 2 runs. On the inside corner, looked like a breaking ball, and Peralta goes down.
Yeah, the slider right there, sinker in, sinker in, sinker in, and then that backdoor slider right there that clips the inner half of the plate, says Wally Bell. Thank you very much. That plate got big right there.
So Peralta goes back to the dugout, and Travis Hafner, who's had a perfect day, 3 for 3, all singles, and he knocked in his 31st run in the 5th inning. And pitches down low, ball 1. You're right, you talked about Travis Hafner, the DH, not really with the numbers that you would expect from Hafner because of the injury problems he's had, and they have spotted him in the lineup just to protect that injured shoulder.
Yeah, the right shoulder, and you as a former pitcher, you go out there and you ache, and you know you're not 100%. I can imagine as a hitter, like a Grady Sizemore, he has that elbow problem. Hafner with the shoulder problem. It's not easy, and Hafner almost looks like he's choking up on the bat. Very unusual to see Hafner do that.
Fouled it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the DH. Indians have not had a winning month all season. We mentioned coming into this game 6-6 this month. 14-12, however, since the All-Star break. And getting a chance to look at some young players, and they will see a lot more when September 1st comes along. Fastball, and Hafner goes down. 2 called third strikes. Peralta and Hafner, 2 down in the 7th. And here is today's Taco Bell bringing the heat pitching comparison.
Well, David Huff in the 1st inning, you can see the different speeds that he had, and Anthony Swarzak, he was knocked out in the 5th. Got his fastball as high as 93, and Huff as high as 91.
Luis Valbuena, strike 1 to him. 0 for 3, and he has struck out twice today. No balls and 2 strikes. Interesting. You would think that Keppel is a tough strikeout pitcher coming into this game. 15 walks, 16 strikeouts. So those numbers don't really reflect what we've seen so far here in the 7th.
Well, he's getting ahead in the count. That's the biggest thing right now. 0-2. When you fall behind with that sinker, ball 1, ball 2, a little bit harder to pitch.
1-2.
It's so important, no matter where you are, and if you're a pitcher, get strike 1. It's so much easier to pitch.
Aces are clear with 2 down here in the 7th inning. Indians leading 7-2. And time is called.
I had the fortune when I came up at such a young age to be around Jim Perry, Jim Cott, Louis Tiant, Dave Boswell. 4 very good starters, and you know, back then they had a 4-man staff. So I was shipped down to the minor leagues, and then Boswell and Tiant got hurt, and I got the opportunity to come up. But just at 19 years old, getting an opportunity to talk to guys like Jim Perry and Jim Cott. Jim Perry won the Cy Young that year in 1970.
Were they forthcoming for you?
They were guys that, you know, I
know
admired.
He was.
Yes.
I know he was. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Kitty, kitty, kitty. Jim Cott.
You were talking
kitty,
about
kitty.
your disdain for pitch counts. Do you remember the most pitches you threw in a game?
I'm going to guess. You know, I wasn't a guy that had, you know, like Nolan Ryan, that struck out 17, 18 guys. My highest, I think, was 15 a couple times. I'd have to say probably 130, 140 in that range. Most of my complete games, I bet you, were probably between 90 and 120 in that range there.
Business as usual. Strike 3 and
struck out the side.
Bobby Keppel gets Peralta, Hafner, and Valbuena, but the Twins trail by 5 runs, and they've got Joe Mauer leading off for them with Morneau to follow. We go now to the bottom of inning number 7. New Gillette Hydra Scrub Body Wash, a powerful clean without dry skin, and is sponsored by Hyundai. Now Hyundai Assurance can even lower your price at the pump. And by Pepsi. Pepsi is the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. Indians leading 7-2, and the Twins batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. Joe Mauer leading off, 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. Twins scoring 2 runs back in the 5th, and the first pitch in there for a call strike.
Boy, Rafael Perez has come in and thrown strikes. 13 pitches, 11 have been strikes so far. Retired the Twins in order in the bottom of the 6th inning with a strikeout.
1-2-3 inning. In fact, swing and a miss. It's the only time the Twins have gone down in order. There you see Joe Mauer, number 1 ranked, average on base percentage, slugging percentage, home average, and against righties. And I think, you know, he's number 1 on the road as well. I think he's the top road hitter, even though it doesn't figure today. Here's the 0-2 to Mauer. Ground ball hit to Cabrera. Routine play for Struble, and making the out at first. So Mauer now 2 for 4 in the game, 1 out in the 7th. As the Twins needing base runners here, trailing by 5 runs. The White Sox are leading the Oakland A's 8-1 in the top of the 9th inning. So that's not good news for the Twins, who came in trailing Chicago by 2.5 and 5 behind first place Detroit. Here's Justin Morneau, 1 for 2 with a double, RBI, and a run scored, has also walked.
You saw that ground ball right there off the bat at Joe Mauer. Cabrera threw it low. Jimenez made a nice little pick right there. Sometimes those are the little things that you don't see in a ball game, how a first baseman can save an infielder an error. Made a nice play on that.
I had a game a couple of weeks ago with the Phillies and the Cardinals where the ball just flicked off the first baseman's mitt on a routine throw about eye high. So they look routine, but what is the definition of that?
Right, is there a routine play in baseball?
Joe Smith, the right-hander, throwing for Cleveland. Indians have used 2 pitchers so far. And a shot, base hit to right field. Carroll coming over. Morneau makes the turn and will hold it first with his 2nd consecutive hit. He's 2 for 3 in the game.
Yeah, Perez has not made many mistakes right here, but watch it take a look at this breaking ball right here, just left up. And Justin, with that level swing, lines it into right field.
And coming out is Eric Wedge, and we're going to have a pitching change. And Joe Smith will come in. Rafael Perez through for the day. We'll be right back. Second appearance, pitched 2 years for the Mets and was acquired with Luis Valbuena in that 3-team trade with the Mets and the Mariners back on December of 08.
And that Franklin Gutierrez trade.
Yes. Michael Kadire, the batter. Breaking pitch outside, ball 1.
Well, if you're walking down the street and you meet a guy and he says, "Hi, my name's Joe Smith," would you believe him? Every time I see this name, Joe Smith, there's no way this guy's real name is Joe Smith.
There's a chopper to shortstop. Cabrera barehands it, throws past first baseman Jimenez, and runners will go to second and third. It looked good on the barehand by Asdrubal Cabrera, but then the throw in the dirt and the throwing error will advance runners to second and third.
Well, I mentioned that at bat for Joe Mauer where Cabrera threw the ball low. This time he throws it even lower, and Jimenez unable to get that hop, and it'll be an error on Cabrera, only his 7th of the year. He's done a very good job at short.
So an opportunity for the Twins with Joe Creedy, who delivered with an RBI single back in the 5th, and he takes a call strike. Twins got 2 in the 5th inning, and it was a clutch base hit by Morneau, the double, and Creedy, the single. And now Creedy in position again to help the Twins' cause. Double-barreled action in the Indian bullpen. Sidearm pitch in tight, 1-1. You were asking about Joe Smith. You know, one time there was an NBA player that walked down the street and he says, "I'm Joe Smith." I said, "I know, you played for the Cleveland Cavaliers." So there are a couple, I think there are about 6 guys, no, 6 in the country named Joe Smith. Swing and a miss, strike 2, 1-2.
Well, you know what? He had a very good year last year. Joe Smith did for the Mets. 82 appearances. Now, he spent about a little over a month on a disabled list in May and early June with some right rotator cuff strain.
And it's reaching out and hitting it out to right field is Joe Creedy, making the catch, and no advance, although the throw to second base is not in time. So Michael Kadire was trying to make a move to third base, but Morneau went about a third of the way. He wasn't going to challenge Jamie Carroll. An infielder turned outfield, and so the runners have to get back.
Well, let's look right here in the 2 box right here. I mean, Carroll does the right thing. Again, a former infielder. He's got a strong arm, makes a nice throw. Torres, a shortstop, and nice pick right there by Cabrera, keeping that ball in the infield. And Justin, you know, he doesn't have a lot of speed, so it would have been a close play at home plate. Ball just not hit deep enough.
So there are 2 down now. And Delman Young, does he check his swing? No, it's a strike.
You know, guys like Joe Smith are hard to pick up because everybody is taught, look at the ball coming out of somebody's ear or the bill of their hat. And here, Joe Smith, he throws it off second base.
Pitch is outside, 1-1. You saw the left-hander Tony Sipp. Chris Perez, the righty, working for the Indians. There they are.
Yeah, 13-man pitching staff for Carl Willis and the Indians.
It's got to affect a lot of the moves you make as a manager. There's a chopper, fair ball to third. Peralta throw to first in time for the out. And there it goes for the Twins. They leave 2 on base. We go to the 8th at 7-2 Cleveland. Indians lead the Twins 7-2 going to the top of the 8th. Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, congratulates Mark Burley, who the fans have voted July's MLB Clutch Performer of the Month, presented by Pepsi. And why not? A perfect game. That set a new major league record, 45 straight innings. Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award at PepsiClutch.com. Boy, what, you know, you're wondering about Johnny Vandermeer for a while.
Yeah, he did that here. I mean, the perfect game before he retired all those batters here in Minnesota.
Wyatt Torregas, who was 1 for 3 with a single and an RBI, his 5th run batted in of the year, making only his 5th start. Bobby Keppel, 3rd pitcher for the Twins, and the pitch hits Torregas, and he'll go down to first base. And talking about hit batsmen, that's been a big story. It's time for a DirecTV game break, and Johan Santana's pitch goes behind Pablo Sandoval, and the home plate umpire Brian Honora warns both teams. 2 pitches later, Sandoval hits a solo home run, his 18th of the year. The Giants lead the Mets 4-1, and you remember earlier in the game, David Wright was hit by a pitch by Matt Cain, and now Wright had to be sent to the hospital, and now we understand the game is tied. 4-4, top of the 9th inning. Giants and Mets battling at Citi Field. And here is Jimenez, first baseman, 0 for 3. Runner at first base, nobody out in the inning. Bobby Keppel came in last inning, struck out the side. It's Torregas. Indians with a 5-run lead. Fastball, 1-1. Minnesota Twins lost 2 out of 3 to Kansas City, and Birch talked about how you've got to really pounce on those teams that are struggling. Trying to extend their winning streak to 2 against the Indians, who have really been struggling all year, not as of late, and trailing here. So that's not the way you're going to gain ground in this division.
No, you're not. You know, you need good quality pitching. It was Baker last night that pitched a shutout, and then here today's Swarzak has really struggled. 1
hopper and no chance for the double play. It was a 1 hopper that Jimenez hit to Cabrera. They get Torregas, and on the fielder's choice, Jimenez on at first.
See, that's that fastball that ran in on him that jammed him. One of my, I love it when a hitter gets jammed like that. And take a look at this pitch right here. Jimenez just gets jammed on that 2-seamer and kind of fists it out towards short. That ball not hit hard enough to turn a double play, but the Twins are able to get that lead runner at second.
Grady Sizemore, leadoff hitter for the Indians. 1 for 3 with a homer and a walk. His home run gave the Indians a 2-0 lead. Chin-Soo Choo homered to lead off the 2nd inning. And with 1 out, Sizemore homered in the 3rd. As the Indians at one point had a 7-0 lead. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
Oh, I like the way this kid plays the game too. You know, a lot of players, he's got that elbow problem. They might say, well, since we're not going to go anywhere, I'll just get that operated on and my season will be over. But Sizemore said, no, I'll play through the pain, and you know what, I'll get it operated on at the end of the year.
Well, no pitch. He's been a tough player and a tough athlete. He was offered a football scholarship at the University of Washington, attended Everett High School in Washington. He gained 3,000 yards rushing, 30 touchdowns, picked off 16 passes, and keeps a poster of who over his bed growing up? Ted Williams. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
He's a big Seahawk fan, and in basketball, the dream team. So he's an all-round sports guy. Is Grady Sizemore. Checked his swing in the count 2-1.
From Mill Creek, Washington. 3-time American League All-Star, 2-time Rawling Gold Glove winner. And only 27 years old in his 6th season with the Indians.
Got a piece of that breaking ball. Count is 2-2 to Sizemore.
He's kind of the post.
Hi, I'm Grady Sizemore III from the Cleveland Indians. I'm from Seattle, Washington. Growing up, I was a huge Seattle Mariners fan. My favorite player was Bo Jackson. In high school, I had a 3.8 GPA on Friday nights. Catch me on the football field where I played running back and defensive back. The coolest guy I ever got to meet was Willie Mays. And that's getting to know Grady Sizemore III.
So let's get this straight. He had a poster of Ted Williams over his bed growing up, but the most exciting, thrilling moment was when he met Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Pretty good company.
Pretty good company. And admired Bo Jackson.
And he had a 3-point, of all of his averages, numbers, 3.8 great board average. Pretty good. A little higher than mine.
I only missed it by 2.
You mean 1.8 versus 3.8?
Right.
Strike 3. And Sizemore goes down. That is the 4th strikeout for Keppel. And there are 2 down here in the 8th inning.
Well, he went back to that sinker. That's his bread and butter pitch. And that ball starts on the inner half of the plate and clips the corner.
So Sizemore, who now with 16 homers, 58 runs batted in, retired. Jamie Carroll has had a pretty good day, 3 singles. Travis Hafner also has singled 3 times for the Indians. Been a good offensive game for them. The pitch in tight to a 1-0. Been 23 hits in the game, 13 by Cleveland.
Well, you mentioned earlier on, this is, he's the oldest Indian right here, but, he brings a lot of experience with him. Jamie Carroll, his best year back in 2006 with the Rockies, he hit an even 300 in 136 ball games. But since coming over to Cleveland, he really hasn't had a chance to play every day. Career .277 hitter coming into this year. Not much power. More of a line drive type hitter. He has 12 career home runs.
2-0 pitch. 3-0. On deck is Asdrubal Cabrera. So Bobby Keppel spent all of the last season with the Marlins AAA franchise in Albuquerque. Started 27 games. You mentioned Jeff Manship, 24-year-old, was just brought up this week, and one of the prospects that the Twins like. So Manship warming up. On the corner. And the count is full, 3-2. 3-2, 2 out.
Boy, announced crowd of 33,931.
Wait till they go to the new park outside. That's going to be, this is a great indicator of that, especially since the Twins have not been a strong challenger. The runner goes, and the pitch is bounded foul down the left field line. Of course, it's going to be an outdoor ballpark once again, and a lot of people, down in Florida are glad that they have a new dome stadium to be built for the Marlins and that the Rays play indoors. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing. The summers are great here in the Twin Cities.
Yep, 22 games remaining after this game for the Minnesota Twins in the Metrodome, where they've had a lot of success. 28 years under the baggy roof here in Minneapolis.
And there's some great moments as well, of course, for the Twins. Farewell to the Metrodome. 2 world champions. 87, you were part of that one. And 91 over the Braves. Mentioned another young rookie, Jose Majerus, warming up, but this is rolled in. Shortstop Orlando Cabrera, a little nonchalant on the backhand. And Carroll is going to be safe at first base. It should go as an error to the shortstop, but we'll wait. Here's the new ballpark. Tell us about it, Bert Blythe.
Well, it's a little bit behind Target Center. Right there, they're building the mound. I say build it up higher. Let's go high, high, high. Let's go back to that 15 inches where it used to be. But they're going to be laying the grass on the infield at the end of the month. I believe on the 24th, August 24th. There's the outline of the infield, and it's going to be absolutely a beautiful stadium. That's what it's going to look like. And limestone on the outside. The light fixtures the way they are. You can see how the lights are kind of in there. You don't have the big poles. It's going to be a beautiful stadium.
It'll be great. I love the ballpark at the old Metropolitan Stadium. That was great. And there's Cabrera, the batter. There was a pinch runner coming into the game. Trevor Crow, another rookie prospect for the Indians, running for Jamie Carroll, who is safe on the error by Orlando Cabrera. So runners are at first and second with 2 out.
Yeah, Cabrera making his 17th error of the year, his 3rd as a Twin.
Asdrubal Cabrera has 2 hits, an RBI, and has scored a run. We've been talking about good-looking young infielder, and you can pencil in Cabrera and Balbuena as a double play combination for the Indians, perhaps for years to come, and of course Sizemore up the middle and center.
The Carlos Santana that the Indians are really high on.
Yes,
the young
that's exactly
catcher.
right. Yes.
I mean, you had put him in. Line drive to Joe Creedy for the final out. Pretty good, strong up the middle with Sizemore in center.
They've got prospects. Side is retired. We go now to the bottom of the 8th inning. By Gillette Body Wash is sponsored by Holiday Inn, official partner of Major League Baseball road trips, by the all-new Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and by Avodart. Time running out for the Twins, trailing by 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Carlos Gomez leading off against Joe Smith, taking a call strike. Gomez 0 for 3. Has struck out his last 2 times. Trevor Crowe moving into left field, and Shin-Soo Choo replacing Jamie Carroll in right. Fly ball to right field, and Choo circles under it, makes the catch for the first out in the 8th inning. And that will bring up Nick Punto, who will be coming to the plate for the first time. Punto came in the game as a replacement for Alexi Casilla in the 7th inning. So here is Punto, a switch hitter, batting .204 with a homer and 25 runs batted in.
Yeah, Punto hitting .199 as a left-handed hitter. A utility type player. Was playing some short, and then when Orlando Cabrera was brought over from the Oakland A's, Nick Punto moved over to second. Good guy to have on a ball club. He can play the outfield. He can play almost anywhere.
He was the Twins opening day shortstop. Came up with the Phillies. Missed 13 games in June with a strained groin. And his average has been subpar since, so that injury may be lingering. And checking with third base umpire Bob Davidson, did not go around, and the count 2-1.
Yeah, Punto in his 6th season with the Twins. He was with the Phillies from 2001 to 2003.
2 balls and a strike with 1 down. Fastball on the outside corner, 2-2.
Wally Bell has a very generous strike zone. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I would think not. Probably not big enough for you. Here's a sign-off pitch fouled away.
Yeah, if I was a hitter sitting here, I would be going, come on, Wally Bell, bear down.
Squeezing me.
Oh, that was strike zone. It should be bigger anyway. Swing the bat, boys. Another nice souvenir.
Well, the master of the curveball. Who taught you the curveball, if any?
I was self-taught. I watched Koufax, listened to Vince Scully on the radio, describe Sandy Koufax's drop. Of course, he had that 15-inch mound, and I pretty much wanted to learn a drop, and I went in my backyard and against a block wall and just kept throwing it until I mastered it.
Here's the payoff pitch. Strike 3 on the outside corner, and Punto goes down for out number 2.
If he's going to call it strike 3, strike 2, he's going to call it strike 3.
No question about it.
He's swinging the bat.
All right, well, this game-changing play is brought to you by Holiday Inn. Signs of change are everywhere.
Well, you know what? Maybe one inning can set the tone of the ball game, and maybe in that first inning with bases loaded, Michael Kadire coming up with 1 out, he pops up to Peralta. A foul ball out, and the Twins were unable to score in that first inning. 11 men left on base for the Twins in their first 7 innings.
And here is Denard Span takes a call strike. Span is 0 for 4.
And Smith is living out there right there. Look at this pitch. That's the Punto strike 3. And then strike 1 to Denard Span. Same spot.
Span has struck out twice. 0 for 4, and the count was 0-2 to him. Who of all the hitters had the most success against your curveball, if anyone?
Well, I don't know about the curveball, but I know Ron Kittle hit the most home runs off of me. Cal Ripken, I think, had the highest average against me. Cal was hard to pitch to because he always changed his batting stance. You know, you could face him one game, and then, you know, he'd be opening up, and the next game he'd have his left shoulder in, and you're out there saying, okay, you know, how do you pitch to this guy? He constantly changed his batting stance. He's a good hitter, though. Hall of Famer.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Denard Span with 2 down, nobody on, and a ground ball hit to Valbuena. And the second baseman makes the play in a 1-2-3 inning for Joe Smith. We go to the 9th inning. The Indians have been up throughout this game. They're up 7-2. Two Indians, our game summary. Big inning for the Indians in the fifth when they scored 4 runs on 5 hits and batted around. They've had 6 players who have knocked in a run today. And Chu and Sizemore hit solo home runs to give the Indians their early lead. Joe Mauer, by the way, 2 for 4. And 376 his American League leading average. And here is 24-year-old Jeff Manship making his major league debut facing Chin-Soo Chu, who has a homer, 2 RBIs in the game, takes a call strike. Pitch for Notre Dame. And speaking of the Fighting Irish, Jeff Samardzija made his first major league start for the Chicago Cubs this past week, also a Notre Dame grad.
Yeah, contract purchase from Rochester to the AAA affiliate for the Twins on August 12th. Just 3 days ago. Manship, 24 years old.
His brother Matt pitched for Stanford, and his father John for the University of Arizona. He had Tommy John surgery, even that young, on his right elbow and missed his entire freshman year at Notre Dame. Strike 3, and Chu goes down for the second time.
Good way to start your career right there with a punch out.
Welcome to baseball. Thinking of another sport, the NFL is back. 2 Fox preseason specials beginning Thursday. Eagles and Colts, McNabb against Peyton Manning. They'll start the game. And on Friday, Chris Johnson and the Titans battle Tony Romo and the Cowboys. Both games start at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific in high definition, only on Fox. So starting to get into the football realm of things, and the season will begin on Fox September the 13th with a regular campaign. And whet your appetite with a couple of preseason games coming up Thursday. Here's Johnny Peralta, check swing, and did not go around. 1-0 the count, 1-1 the count now to Peralta.
Manship just getting called up when Glenn Perkins was put on a disabled list with some tendonitis in that left shoulder. In AAA, Manship had 10 games. He won 10 games, 10-6 with a 3.86 ERA in 21 starts. Worked 126 innings in Rochester. An awkward type of delivery.
Drive hit to center field. Coming over, Gomez is there to make the play. 2 up, 2 out in Jeff Manship's major league debut here in the 9th inning. And Manship has been a starter his entire career through college and in the minor leagues. And facing Travis Hafner, who has 3 singles and an RBI in 4 trips.
Let's see, if I met Jeff Manship on the street and he said, "Hi, my name is Jeff Manship," I would believe him.
As opposed to saying if he's Joe Smith.
I still don't believe Joe Smith, no.
Well, I think we've got to get some answers here. I mean, hopefully before this game is over as to whether Joe Smith is
really Joe
Smith. Ground ball, backhanded nicely by Kadire. Flips to Manship
nice
for the
debut.
out. A quick inning. Boy, he didn't even get into it. Didn't throw many pitches. 8 in all. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Last chance for the Twins, who trail by 5. 1, 2, 3 inning, throwing only 8 pitches.
Nice way to start your career right there.
Yes, it is. Jeff Manship. And now we have a new pitcher for the Indians, Tony Sipp. Left-hander from Moss Point, Mississippi. 25-year-old will be facing Orlando Cabrera in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the first pitch is a strike. Cabrera 2 for 4 with a pair of singles and a scored a run. So for Sipp, this is his 28th appearance of the year. And his 5th against the Twins, and beat Minnesota in the last time these teams played on August the 4th. Fly ball down the right field line. Chu chasing it, makes a fine backhanded catch. Very little room between the foul line and that fence in foul territory. Presence of mind. Chu makes a good play.
Well, you know, at Sipp, he can throw that fastball in the mid-90s. So what the defense does, it shades toward right field, and Chu, good hustle over there, good concentration, makes a nice running catch.
Started the game as a left fielder, moved to right when Trevor Crowe pinch ran for Carroll, and Crowe went in to play left field. So here's Joe Mauer, who is 2 for 4, has actually upped his average. Started the day at 375, leading the league, now at 376. And the first pitch from Sipp, this is for a ball.
Well, I tell you what, Carl Willis has to be happy at his bullpen. This bullpen has been struggling all season long. 13th in the American League with a combined 5.03 ERA. But here this afternoon, 3 1/3 innings of shutout baseball. They've allowed only 1 hit.
Fly ball hit deep to center field. Sizemore way back. Sizemore home run. Ran out of room, and Joe Mauer gives the fans a thrill with a 1-out home run here in the 9th inning. His 3rd hit of the game, and the Twins now trail 7-3.
Incredible, incredible for Joe Mauer. Now 22 home runs on the year. A guy that came in with a career-high 13 home runs, and that back 3 years ago. Showing some power. Is he just maturing? Is he getting stronger?
And that's what they come to see. And, you know, as Justin Morneau steps in, he has 2 hits and takes ball 1. And if the Twins don't come back in this game, they're down 7-3. I guarantee all the fans, the 30,000 plus that leave here, will have smiles on their face, because last thing they remember, Joe Mauer going deep to center field.
Yeah, I mean, a kid that grew up here, he's a Twins fan growing up. Now he gets to wear a Twins uniform.
So it's a 7-3 game, and the count is 1-1 to Morneau. And off the end of the bat, slow hit could be tough here. Sips, fires to first. In time to get Morneau. And the crowd really unhappy with that call by first base umpire Marty Foster.
Well, Jerry White asking right there, Marty Foster, if Justin beat it out. But what a play right here by Tony Sipp. I mean, he fired a P over to Jimenez, and it looked like he just got him. I mean, Sipp again throws that ball in the mid-90s, and I think he threw it 100 miles an hour right there.
He got him.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, that was as good as you'll see. And we know, of course, you were good friends with Jim Cott, who won 16 Gold Gloves as a pitcher. A brilliant fielding performance there by Tony Sipp, and there are 2 down.
Well, pitchers are the best athlete on the field. You know that.
Well, I know. And you know, now that the Indians, I would be remiss as Kadire takes the first pitch for a ball.
Well, he's the only one that can make this play, because Peralta was playing back and over towards short, and what a play he made.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a strike. I would be remiss if I didn't bring this out, because back in 1985, my partner here today, Bert Bly-Levin, led the American League in complete games with 24, and he pitched for both the Indians and the Twins that season. And I'm glad I got that in. Fly ball to left field by Kadire, coming over, and Trevor Crowe makes the catch, and the ball game is over, and the Cleveland Indians hold on and win 7-3. Mauer hits a home run in the 9th inning as the Indians snap a 3-game losing streak, and the Twins lose the season series 1-1. We'll be right back.